I don't believe that. I don't think that happened at all. I'm calling BS.
Mm.
I'm calling straight BS. But
Somewhere in my old high school Wildcats turtle. It's not really a turtleneck, but it was like a baseball shirt. But
uh huh.
you see, it says "cat." I'm trying to make sure. Okay, it says "cats"
Yeah, I
on the
see it. I see
side
it.
because we were the
I got you.
Wildcats of Wild Lake High.
Yeah, right. All right, this is episode 196. We are 4 episodes away from 200. Myself, Bill's fourth, DJ 81. Supposed to have a guest in later on. Hopefully he'll be in. I sent them the link, so we're waiting for him to come in. And we're just going to talk about a little bit more Madden. I guess it's been around long enough they could do a fairly good review. I have not played it. I don't plan on doing a review, but I will give some commentary on to why. Also, we want to talk about Wentz. Carson Wentz finally getting benched, and I said finally because I kind of figured out he was going to get benched because of injuries, and I know people saying that's a running gag, but he's being benched now because of poor play, which is actually surprising because I don't think he's a bad player. I just think he can't stay healthy. Also, we're going to talk about these 3090s, RTX 3090s. These graphics cards got stolen in China, and it's over $300,000 worth of graphics cards just stolen, which I don't think they were stolen. Somebody saying they fell off a truck. Somebody else said there's like some type of movie shot deal. Like it looked like something that could have happened in a movie scene. What? But I think if it happened in China, no telling what the hell happened with those damn things. And I doubt it with the fact to be in China. It'd be interesting to see if the communist regime they will actually prosecute, if will they really investigate. That'd be the real thing. But nevertheless, we're going to get into these topics, and we're going to do our intros. DJ, how are you doing today, bro?
Man, I've been good, riding high off a victory which I did predict like a few weeks ago, and everybody's talking about it, so it was good to see that happen. And I'm just feeling really good. I'm just ready to talk about these topics and waiting for Smitty to get here. So,
I mean, you kind of spoiled it. I didn't say who was going to be here, but you said it. But nevertheless, Bill. No, it's not a surprise, but I mean, it does hang people who are listening or watching in a little bit of suspense. Bills, how have you been?
I've been good, man. Playing Madden, enjoying it while I can in this current state, because we got the anti-sim Nazis out here doing their due diligence, and yeah, I just been playing these sports games. I'm in a pretty good place with all three of them, so yeah, I've been good.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all good. As for myself, I've been doing a lot of streaming. Last night I streamed almost 6 hours. DJ?
Yeah, you did. I literally was playing NHL as you were streaming. I paused it. That's the parts that you were catching up on.
Yeah, I was done almost almost 2 in the morning. I mean, but I enjoyed it. I mean, there was a little bit of downtime with the cutscenes or whatever, but I'm really, getting into the whole streaming thing, and I'm enjoying it a lot. I bought like 6 or 7 games that I'm going to stream, and I'm gonna tell you guys right now, a lot of this stuff I'm going to be streaming is not going to necessarily be sports related. I mean, obviously I'm going to do some sports stuff, but that's probably going to be maybe 20, maybe 25% of the time. When I can find games like this, and I can find these games to actually be fun, I'm going to show this to you guys. When I can find games like this, and I can find this to be fun when I actually played it a little bit. And here's another game I'm going to be streaming down the road.
Oh, man. I can't wait to see you stream that one, because I've seen people stream that, and people have had, like, they say it's a really good game, like story-wise and gameplay-wise.
This is another one I'm going to be streaming.
That game, I heard that game is a lot better on PS5.
Yeah, I heard that too. In this game, I'm probably gonna do this one, then I'm gonna do part 4. I got this game for a few bucks. I got it for $4, $4.99, so I'm gonna do that as well.
Yes.
So
You're gonna have tons of fun in that game.
Not in any particular order, because as of right now on my screen right here, I do have Cyberpunk downloading, so that's going to be that's probably be the next game I actually stream. So it's a lot I'm gonna be streaming. Now in between, I'm also gonna be doing the sports retro streams. I'm gonna be doing that, and I got another game that I want to stream. This actually has a career mode, so I'm actually interested in this. I got this for $10. Nobody really talks about this game, but I think it's going to be interesting because nobody plays this. I'm going to be playing that. That's going to be on the stream as well.
The first two,
hell
the
no.
name, of course, nobody plays it. Don King.
Nobody plays it, and I think, and the fact that it's a boxing game and is a unique boxing game, I think it's going to be some form of entertainment in that. So
it's unique because it's garbage.
hey, listen. Bad. You have no idea how streaming works. Bad games make great content for streams. So I mean,
it's not just bad games; it's bad gamers that make for good content. It makes it more entertaining.
Well, that too. No, seriously, like, a lot of bad games do make good content for streams. It makes it entertaining because like that one person is actually like maybe the only person in the world that's playing that game, and nobody else will play it. So at least they'll watch it. So that I think that's going to be interesting. Like I mean, why do you think I do the sport retro streams? You think I do the Sunday retro streams to play good games? I play these games that are interesting and just like they were maybe bad for their time, and we just having to stop. We just having to. Yeah, but look, I got all these other games I just showed, and I showed one bad one. So I mean, it just goes to show you the balance. It's not like I'm AVGing and just playing a bunch of bad shit just for the hell of it. It has to be a wrinkle in there somewhere. So, I mean, with that being said, I'm on Twitch. You know where to find me, via Baller. The link is in the description. All of our Twitch links are in the description. And if you can't click a link at the end of the episode, we'll put out all of our Twitch channel so you can read it. But how could you click a link but you can't read? That's another story for another day. Let's just get into it. We're waiting for Smitty to be here, so we're going to talk about
Wait a minute, Bills didn't
Madden
do
NFL. Oh, you didn't? I'm sorry, Bills. I am very, very, very sorry. Bills,
I did.
what's been going on with you? Yeah, you did. That's what I thought. I know you did. I was about to say, because he's talking about how much he loves Madden, and he's playing it now till the casuals come and say, the game's too hard, it's too realistic. So he did.
It just seemed shorter than normal. That's why I was thinking he didn't do his intro.
Hey, today he's a man of few words.
I'm saving my roast for as we go along in the podcast.
Oh, I forgot I got Roy McIlroy golf too.
At least that's a good game.
I still have that one.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying I noticed I got it on my hard drive because I don't have a physical copy anymore. I just realized it was downloaded to this PS4, and I don't remember downloading it. So how the hell it got here? I'm not complaining, but it's here.
To this day, the only game in EA that shares assets with another game within its own company. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah. I mean, I think the career mode is interesting. I've been playing Tiger Woods 14 as well when I was in Savannah. When I went home, I took the PS3 with me, and I took Tiger Woods down there with me, and I was actually surprised like how good that golf game was as well. So between that, Roy McIlroy, and the PGA 2K21, I mean, golf is in a good space right now, honestly. So, like I said, that may be another thing I'm gonna be streaming as well. Like I said, I got a lot of stuff to be streaming, but the main thing is it's gonna be some the single player is just gonna be some games in a row, and we'll just see how it goes. Well, since Smitty's not, I guess we can get right into it. Give us your review of Madden 21, Bills. When Smitty decides to get in, I guess we'll shout him out and we'll give him his thoughts as well.
Yeah, I mean, Madden 21 is an exceptional game on the field. I mean, it's just better in damn near every way, aside from man coverage still has a little bit of issue. But yeah, the player movement's amazing. The players have more weight to them. Those little cuts we've been asking for where they're not like just turning on a dime, those are in now. There's pretty much RPM, so to speak, on every single player on the field. The pass trajectories are better.
Wow, that's interesting.
What else? The tackling is way improved. you'll see guys come for the cleanup hit a lot more often now. Not so much of the tumbleweed bullshit that you've seen in the past. Now guys take a lot better pursuit angles. They lay cleanup hits a lot more sensibly, and then you also see a sense of urgency when you get down around the goal line or the first down marker. They seem to have a lot more urgency in how they're making the tackle, so that's a positive. Um, Quarterbacks are getting the ball out a lot faster, but also at the same time, they're taking a lot of shots downfield and giving their receivers that can win jump balls opportunities to do so, which is nice. Um, yeah, the route running is a lot smoother. Obviously, we saw that in the gameplay, the little snippet that there's, but yeah, pretty much every single route is a lot smoother. Quick slants can't really be um exposed anymore. You really have to be selective about the routes that you're throwing, the timing of the routes. You have to know the quarterback's arm strength that you're using. Um, yeah, man. I mean, the game is just really good. Zones are, I guess you could say, bad, but I have my sliders, so that's not really an issue for me. Um, so yeah, man, there's nothing but good things I can say about the game. I think there are a couple of things they can do in the way of zone logic, but other than that, no. I mean, the game is exceptional, honestly. So
Now I
yeah, I
know
mean, that's my all good.
No way, DJ.
I was gonna say I know Bills and I we've already talked about this as far as like the player movement. Next thing for them is player interaction. I wish they would like. I feel like from what I've seen, secondhand, just to let everybody know, secondhand. I don't have the game, haven't played it since the beta. That the player movement definitely is improved. It's, it's still kind of shisty how they advertise it as a next gen feature when that should have been done, but it's here now. There's can't do nothing about it now. But player interaction is the next step. Another part of the game of any type of football.
Man, tell this man to get off Twitter tweeting at people and get in this damn podcast.
Smitty tweeting?
No, yeah, he tweeting at people about this game and ain't coming here to talk about it. We invited you, sir.
Really, I don't see. Wait a minute.
I do 34 seconds. He tweeting to some. His tweet was 34 seconds ago.
Wow.
Hey, you stalking the man? Good.
No, I ain't stalking him. I ain't stalking him. I'm looking on Twitter. Yeah, I'm looking on Twitter, and as soon as I hit my timeline, his tweet pops up. I'm not stalking. I'm just on the timeline, and he shows up like, "Hey, player movement without complaints." Yo, talk about that over here. We invited you, sir.
That was 7 minutes ago.
No, it says right here, 1 minute. A replying to Azure effect. Heck, we can't have player movement without complaints to that. Yep, exactly. Nah, man, we'll be so disrespectful if they invite us to their podcast and we're in the chat, not even in the chat, but we're on Twitter tweeting and they invited us. That ain't cool. Come on, man.
How about that response?
Ain't no fairness. Ain't no fairness.
Read the reply to his tweet because I just said mine.
In all fairness, I did tell him the podcast was starting at 8, and of course, this is the night we started at 7:45.
That man got the link though. He had the link. He had the link since 7:30. And you know what? What else? And you know 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 what else? He follows me on Twitter, and he saw my on the timeline. We starting at 7:45. It ain't no thing. Come on now, Smitty. Now, come on now, sir.
I tried.
And it's 8. And it's 8:00 when he tweeted this. It's 8:01. So there really ain't no excuse. He could. Come on, sir. What you were saying, DJ, about Madden? I'm sorry, bro.
No, I was saying that me and Bills had discussed this about player interaction being the next thing that they need to address as far as to go with the player motion, because from what I'm seeing, they seem like they did a great job with the movements, cleaning up animations and stuff like that. But if the interaction is not addressed next, then we're gonna have a shitstorm, come with the casuals and stuff like that. But it seems like we're already receiving the shitstorm from the casuals due to player movement. once again. So
What's encouraging about that is the fact that they didn't really touch current gen Madden 21. So part of me thinks they might stay pat on that, but you never know because these dudes are out here hot and heavy. Hey, why are we gonna wait so long for Tyreek Hill to get up to full speed? First off, bitch, do you even know what his top speed is? No, because I hate when they say that. You don't really even know what his top speed is. You're just saying that because you feel like he's not getting into his route as quick as you want him to. It's like, bro, you have to time your throws according to the routes and time your throws according to his speed. He's going to walk past everybody on the field. It's a matter of you having enough time to get the ball to him. Stop bitching about player movement. It's so annoying. Player movement is the best of any football game there's ever been. And people are out here bitching about it because, oh, I can't run the ball. Oh, I can't throw the ball. Well, then play something else then and shut the fuck up.
The funny thing was, what was it, 2 Maddens ago on current gen, that was the same exact complaint when RPM was put in just for the offense. And it was just, and that's what got RPM taken away. Now, they weren't tracking player movements, but the fact that, you know, they were complaining about that and they got, and we all witnessed it. We all felt the shift back to the old running style of those like insane cuts and the lack of speed reduction in making those cuts.
I got a question about that, DJ. I had a question about that. Do y'all think that's true step or y'all think that's just new technology they put with next gen?
Both.
True step. True step and
I don't know. That's what I was just asking because I mean it could be just they put True Step back in the game because you could tell the difference if it wasn't, in my opinion.
I think it's both. There are a lot of animations that True Step didn't have in the game. That's the only reason why I think it's both. There's some new tech and there's also elements of True Step as far as the ball carrier is concerned. But I mean, I think there's definitely some new tech in there. But no, I mean, you know, people just bitching up a storm. Yeah, the zones have been inconsistent for years. That's nothing new. But talking about the player movement within the zones is just stupid. It's just crazy to me. Like, thank God 2K hasn't really touched their game just yet. FIFA, surprisingly, with Matt 10L stats, sliders are actually really good. And Madden is really good right now. So yeah, I'm in a good place with my sports games right now. Like, don't touch them. Don't fucking touch them.
See, and Madden's put themselves, the developers and whoever made the decision to attach next gen stats with the player movement. Okay, first of all, that's a good move, perfect move. But now you're backed into a corner because now the people that pay the most amount of people that play this game are the ones complaining about it, and this studio is going to make themselves look like hypocrites the moment they start messing with the player movement, either ratcheting stuff down like they did initially 2 Maddens ago with RPM, and you can no longer advertise that player movement is attached to next gen stats when you start messing and rattling the stuff back. So they
how do these motherfuckers argue with stats? How they argue with real life? And of course you got these dumbasses who I don't care about real life. It's a video game. Then go play something else. Go play something else.
That right there is going to be the downfall of football gaming if you don't get another alternative. Because they can say that to one game and they can have their game, but you can't apply that logic to the other game. You can't just run roughshod and say, hey, I want an arcade style game for every single type of game that comes out. Now that just doesn't fly. So at the end of the day, I feel like we definitely need another game and let these clowns destroy whatever they want to. If they want linebackers to cover the entire field, they want, safeties playing quarterback, they can have that game. I don't care who makes the alternative game, but we need an alternative game. I don't care if EA makes a second game or 2K. We just need a second game to cater to and respect the sport of football. And instead of just having, this one game and they're trying to please everybody and they turn around and please nobody. So that's basically what's been going on for the past decade, to be honest.
I was talking to King David, and it brings up something I've been saying for years. Madden doesn't have to cater to these bitch ass casual gamers, bro. They already bought the game.
I agree. But I'm
play it. Hold on, they're gonna play it regardless because they have fans that they have to cater to. They are beholden to their fan base. So whether they're ass at the game or they get better at the game, they have to play it or they have to figure out a way to get better. They're either going to be garbage or they're going to get better.
You see that? You see that?
I see that.
That's why they cater to them.
They already paid.
No.
They're already paid. They're going to pay
paying 65 is not enough no more, bro. It's not enough.
They're going to buy the card.
69.
69 is not enough, bro. I'm telling you, it's not. They're not going to buy them. They're not going to buy them packs if they're not catering to them. They're not.
What are they going to play then?
They're not going to play the game. They'll play something else.
That's a lie.
Let me tell you something.
That's a lie.
No, they don't. Because every time, when was one time they did not cater to them? They catered to them every time.
They didn't cater to them this past year. Madden came out and was sim from Madden 21, and guess what? These bitches are still on the timeline right now, bitching about it, and they're still playing the game.
No, they're not. They're not bitching about it. They're not bitching about it to the point they are now. They're not.
Yeah, they are.
Because the player movement, the player movement is nowhere near to what it is now on next gen. They're not. It's not.
The only reason people aren't complaining about current gen Madden now is because next gen Madden is out. That's the only reason.
You try to tell that to them suits and watch what they do. They're not going to listen to that. If they get a threat to them people saying, "Hey, we're not opening our wallets," they're going to do whatever they want to. They're going to do whatever they say. That's just how it is.
Wait a minute. Hold up.
I mean, I agree with you. They probably will go and buy it, but they're not looking at it like that. Yeah. They're not looking at it like that. They want that money regardless. They will cater to them before they cater to us. We've known that since Madden coin's been out.
Yeah, but here's the thing: they can go back to playing current gen Madden if they're worried about the player movement.
You talking about guys? Hold on, DJ. You're talking about people willing to spend $1,000 on cards. You better believe they got a next gen console.
They're still
not necessarily.
But this is my thing. They're still gonna buy those cards, VF. They're not gonna.
You tell the suit. Hey, listen. I agree with you, but tell the suits that. I'm just telling you what they're thinking.
Well, the debate wasn't about the suits. The debate was about the people that are bitching about the game, and I said, those people are gonna continue to buy the game regardless of how the suits.
I believe you. I know the suits don't think that though. We all know that.
We weren't talking about the suits. We already know that.
I'm just telling you. But I get it. But I'm telling you, regardless of what you're saying, you may be 100% factual, and I'm pretty sure you are 100% factual. They're not going to take that risk because so they will continue to listen to them. They're not going to take that risk. They're not going to Ronnie 2K these fools. They're not going to. I wish they would, but they're not. Ronnie 2K told them, "Say, look, bitch, you're going to buy the game anyway. Whatever."
But the point I was making wasn't whether the suits are going to do that or not. It is the reality of the fact that that's what they need to think, is that these motherfuckers are going to continue to buy the game because they are. People bitched about Fortnite and all the changes in Fortnite, and they still play Fortnite. Mm-hmm. So, they need to stop. These motherfuckers are not going to buy this game and play it incessantly.
I agree with you, but I hate to tell you, I will be highly surprised if they do it and say, "Fuck off, you guys. Open your wallets regardless. We're going to make the games for the way it's supposed to be." If they do that, I will be highly, highly surprised.
They already did it with Madden 21, and if next gen makes it through that cycle, then we'll see a changing of the guard because it's going to be the same shit next year if it works this year. They haven't changed yet, and obviously it's only a weekend. But if we make it through the rest of the cycle,
I do have a question to that. Do you think they didn't change Madden 21 on last gen because they was working on this one?
No.
Just say, for instance, if this game would have stayed the way it was, there was no next gen version of this game. Do you think they would have catered to them?
They wouldn't have touched it. They didn't touch it last year either. People bitched about the pass rush all year and how long they had to throw or didn't have to throw, and they didn't change that last year either. It's actually been a past couple of years they haven't touched things.
I'm kind of curious to that because Madden 20 was abysmally bad because the way you put people in different situations and they still excel. Like you put a fucking punter at quarterback and you put a lineman at receiver and the shit was successful.
No, that's terrible.
Yeah, I mean, but you can imagine how many other people who play MUT that does that type of shit. He's not the only one. You know what I'm saying? It's like I get what you're saying, but I don't think that EA, they will try their best. I mean, Kralo said it the best. They will try their best to give us the game they want, but the people over their head is like, look, if this shit's not making money for us, we're gonna change ship, and we want that back. We made 2.5 billion last year. We want 2.7 this year. They're not going to try to go backwards.
But just looking at the past 2 years, I would say that they are starting to realize these motherfuckers are going to buy the game regardless, only because of the track record of what they've been doing the past 2 years. They bitched about the pass rush. They did not touch the pass rush, even to the point where Clint came online and said, we're not touching the pass rush. So based on these past 2 years, I can say maybe they're changing and maybe they realize that that's going to be the case. These motherfuckers are going to buy the game regardless. We have to wait and see. But I'm saying I don't think it's automatic that they're going to go and cater these motherfuckers. We'll have to see.
I think it's about 90. I think it's about between an 85 to 90% chance they will. Just because of the track record.
Would be going against what they did the past 2 years.
You know, because like anytime when something happened with MUT, they fixed it. You know, anything that something wasn't right with a certain player. I mean, when you're talking about like our side of the ball, like we want to play on sim, we want to play the game a little bit what it's supposed to play like. They've barely touched anything on that end. I agree with that. But if they get to the point where they want to fix something that caters to people who open in their wallets, they're going to do that. Only thing we need to do is hope and pray that it doesn't affect our end of the game. And that's one of the things that we started dealing with when they did these first 3 modes. When these first 3 modes came out, whatever they did with comp, it fucked up what's on sim. If they can continue to separate that, that's the best thing that we'll have compared to us having 2 separate games, like I was saying earlier. So I mean, you know, that's like our only hope, to be honest with you.
But that's what I'm saying. The last time they made radical changes that ruined the game for us was Madden 19. So that's the point I'm making. Madden 20 just wasn't as good of a game as Madden 21, obviously. Madden 21 came out, improved, and they didn't touch anything on Madden 21. Now next gen is out. It's improved again. They're in an upward swing, so to speak, as far as gameplay is concerned. As long as they continue to keep that same energy of, no, we're not going to touch this and fix it according to y'all's standards just because you're bitching about it, I think that we may make it through the cycle without that happening. But I can see that because I don't have a problem with Madden gameplay. It's just that everything behind it is a problem. Like I was saying the other day, like this right here, I believe this game could have been done on the PlayStation 4 Pro or Xbox One X. Like I've been saying it, and I've noticed it that, I mean, Digital Foundry and other, you know, places who do this type of tech, those 2 consoles potential has not even been reached. And because it's been a mid-generation refresh, but so it's a lot of things that they could do with these last consoles that can really push the limit of them to the point where we can get a 1440p 60 frames, in some cases 4K 60, but we won't know because these consoles are rarely 3, maybe 4 years old. I mean, most consoles don't reach their max until year 7. So I believe what they've done is on the PS5 and the Xbox Series X, they gave us a game that could have been done on the current consoles that we just had. But, you know, and that's my biggest gripe because I felt like next gen should be next gen and we should have got a whole new vibe and a whole new experience with the game. That's probably one of my biggest gripes about it. And that's one of the reasons why I'm really not interested in playing the game. You know, to be honest, but it's just, I get it. I mean, it's not because that I think it's a bad game. I just feel like people who did not get a next gen console and people got new ones kind of got shafted. I mean, even if the game's free, it's like, bro, it's like, this is the type of shit that could have came out in August. You know, that's my biggest gripe about the game.
Right now, it just seems like with the sports games, the only 2 games that seem next gen is the FIFA and the NBA 2K. As far as
and
2K could be debatable to an extent, to be honest, but I get what you're saying. I agree.
All three of them are debatable. None of them are next gen if we're going by that standard. I mean, none of them made leaps. I mean, I've played all three. None of them made leaps like that. They're better games on the new consoles with improved graphics. But if we're going by that standard for Madden, then the same applies for those other two.
Right. And, and like I said, that's my only issue with the game. It's not like a lot of people saying like, the game is terrible and all this, that. I was like, man, these people are talking crazy. The game is not a bad game. It's just that what we're getting is something that should have been, we should have got that, months ago. I mean, that's my main issue with it. So overall, do you give it a score, or do you kind of just say it's a par for the course when it comes to like last gen? Just a last gen score. I mean, what do you rate it?
On the field, it's easily a 9.
Okay.
Easily a 9 on the field. I mean, I can't really speak to anything else. I haven't played franchise mode yet, and because it's untouched, there's no point in even grading that area. So I mean, overall, yeah. I mean, on the field, it's a 9. That's what I would say.
I got you.
And I mean,
I don't know.
Last time we gave Madden a 9 on the field. I mean, I was telling somebody before, I have to go back to Madden 08. So,
all right,
it's the best gameplay since Madden 08. I think it's pretty easy too. It's not even close. So,
got you. Yeah, I haven't played it, so I can't say exactly. I mean, I know when I look at it, I know what I'm seeing, and people are like, "Oh, you got to play the game." No, I know what I see. I'm not saying it's a bad game, so get your EA panties out your ass. I just feel like the game is just like, look, I can see this and tell this is a PlayStation 4. This is an Xbox One X game that they put on the PS5, and they just basically gave it some enhancements. And I don't know if that's I don't know if that's okay to most people. I'm not accepting it, but hey, the game is free, so what am I to trip on, So it's all good. DJ, you got any last words?
I really don't have much on it. It's just,
My son, you about to go to sleep. You getting sleepy? Come here, son. Come here. You gonna follow mommy? Come here. Yeah, follow mommy then. I don't care. Okay, come here. Come here. Keep talking, DJ. I'm sorry.
Okay, I got you. Yeah, the one. It just seems like Madden to me just gets caught in just focusing on one area and then maintaining other areas that make the money and ignore other areas that really would flesh out this game. If you don't touch franchise mode, you basically go out and lie to people who said that you were gonna do something about that and then tried to sneak past 21. There's Smitty. And see, that's funny because y'all asked in the chat, and here he is. He appears upon request. Hey, what's up, Smitty?
Yeah, that's water.
Yo, what's up, y'all? What's that?
What's going on, Smitty? What's going on?
Yeah, I got your reply, Smitty. I was about to update that, but you showed up, so there's no point now.
Yeah.
Smitty running on black people time tonight.
I know, right?
Silly.
What's good, bro?
Not much, man.
So
we just got. Oh, go ahead. You good?
I was gonna say I was giving my impressions of Madden 21 Next Gen. I don't know if you wanted to just give some thoughts on what you've been seeing, what you've been playing.
Yeah, I'll just say like from playing it so far, I'm impressed with it, and it's like the tackling. I'm pretty sure you guys already hit on it, but like the tackling is better. It looks. I mean, the animations aren't necessarily brand new, but it looks a lot more authentic in terms of how things are playing out.
Hey, y'all, check this out. Watch this. Keep talking to me. Just check this out.
Okay. All right. But it's looking more authentic across the board, with especially the player movement. The player movement, oh, that's tight. But
he's the way he playing too.
But no, the player movement. Look, the player movement by far is like that's everything. Don't touch. I'm with Bills 150,000%. They mess that player movement up, it's a wrap. It's over. It's a wrap.
It's getting deleted. It's getting like
There's no point. There's no point in playing it no more.
Tell everybody bye. Tell everybody bye.
If that's what they end up doing. I mean, look.
All right.
I don't know if you guys touched on. Are you guys gonna elaborate on things further, like with the complaining and all that stuff? I don't know.
Go ahead. We are no. It's your turn. We already did that already.
Yeah, I did that already. Okay, all right. So I'll just say, look, I get the complaining and everything like that, but the problem is that every single year that EA tries to do anything innovative that would be game changing in any kind of way that alters or augments the way that the user has to play, it always gets nerfed out. It always gets nerfed. The following year, it gets took out. That stuff has to honestly stop, because in comparison to all these other sports games that all have issues too, Madden always stays behind. And it's like they keep reverting and rolling things back for like the casuals and the comp guys that really don't want to adapt or adjust to what's going on with the game. It's like at some point y'all just gotta adapt to it. Like dudes are up here trying to talk about how speed and acceleration are supposed to look in the game when it's like how can you possibly judge that from just playing the game when Clinton, those guys, they're actually able to pull the actual data to, formulate and put it together in game. So I'm like, I don't understand how somebody outside of that can all of a sudden make that outside determination and say, oh, well, they need to fix this and they need to fix that. Like based off what? And then on top of that, people talk about the zone play. Zone play has been jacked up for years. It is. I want to know what year zone play has been great in Madden. Like to all of a sudden act like
the last year was great. They complained about it and said they couldn't pass the ball. Now they're complaining about zone being bad and it's too easy to pass. They don't know what they want. I mean, because here's my thing, bro. Yeah. Movement is the foundation to me of basically every game, not just sports, but player movement is important. Like it's the foundation of every game. Madden looks different when you play it just based off the player movement. Before you even throw the ball, just handing it off, it looks different. So that's my thing is if you can't adjust to the player movement, then you can't complain about the game being the same every year because you're playing the same every year. The game changes and you want to play the same. You can't do that. You can't have it both ways. That's my thing. You gotta adapt with the game. The game is growing. The game is adding a lot of new things. If you're not adding new plays to your scheme, if you're not adding new skills as far as which position you play or you control when you're controlling your team, then you're truly holding the game back because you're going to expect the same experience annually. And then when you don't get that, when you get something better, you're going to complain about it and say, oh, well, I think acceleration should look like this. But, I mean, how do you know what acceleration should look like in a video game when that's their vision that they're drawing out? It's like, I don't get where they get, well, Tyreek Hill's taking way too many steps to get up to full speed. I'm like, what are you talking about? He's running past everybody on the field. Bro, it's crazy to me. Like, I don't know, bro.
And the funny thing, when you talk about Tyreek Hill, even the current gen version of him moved differently. When we were playing during the beta, that was like one of the first things that you and I noticed. It was just like Tyreek Hill is already faster than everybody else is coming off the line. Just imagine it's almost like people think acceleration should happen based on watching something going 30 frames per second, and you're now seeing stuff go at like 75 to 100 frames per second. Now you're seeing all of the motion, the complete motion of how Tyreek Hill hits top speed, not just here and then here and then here. You're seeing all of it because they smoothed out the animations. They made it more complete. It's more fluid. And
the proof, I was gonna say the proof is I was having a conversation with you about Alex Smith, and it was a funny conversation, but it fits into this conversation because Terry McLaurin was getting up to full speed quickly, and he was burning the guy every time. Because I was trying to make sure I don't get sacked, I was holding the ball too long. Alex Smith, as a result, was underthrowing Terry McLaurin. So that just goes to show it's not about how fast the receivers are getting up to speed. It is when you're throwing the ball, when you are releasing the ball. If you throw it at the perfect point, it's going to throw them wide open, especially if you have a quarterback with a freaking rocket arm. I mean, there's been a couple times I've thrown receivers open, and it's been like easy. The guy beat him off the line, or maybe even 10 yards down the field, he started pulling away. Like Henry Ruggs, for example. Henry Ruggs, I threw a beautiful pass with Derek Carr to Henry Ruggs. He didn't have to slow down at all, but I threw it at the perfect time. If I would have waited a couple more seconds, it would have been picked off, or I would have underthrown. It would have been a jump ball. So that's the thing. These people don't want to adjust to, how the routes develop and the timing of plays and things like that. They don't want to have to look at their offensive line and see who's getting beat. And, there's so many different facets to it now that they just don't want to adjust to. And that's the sad part, really, is, and like I said, yeah, they want the game to evolve, but they don't want to evolve.
And the funny part is...
Nah, they want to evolve, but they don't want to evolve the way we want to.
But the funny part is, speaking from a wide receiver standpoint, I'm like, I would love to, if I decided to get the game, I would love passing at this point, because then I see all the windows, how they open up, and I'm the type that likes to pass based on timing. Like, I already know Alex Smith, I want those short, quick routes that open up naturally. I know I have McLaurin that can do that. I know I have Steven Sims that can do that. I know that, certain routes downfield are going to open naturally. It kind of reminds me of all-pro football as far as how, the speed of the game is, portrayed in the video game. Some people was comparing it to the speed, how they slowed it down in NFL 2K5. And one person was like, this is pretty much the same speed, at overall game speed. But Bills, tell them about when you put in Dwayne Haskins and did that same thing.
So when I put in Dwayne Haskins, I had the ability to wait a couple more seconds and throw the ball, because he was still going to overthrow McLaurin or hit him in stride. So it really did depend on your quarterback. And it's just like, it depends on your receiver too, quite frankly. There are certain guys you're going to throw down the field and he's going to look open, but that cornerback is going to catch him from behind. It's going to be a jump ball situation. It's all about timing and knowing your personnel. But these people that go on the line with the Chiefs and they just think, oh my God, I got Tyreek in the slot, I'm just going to lob the ball over everybody's head, run 4 verts, make the safety make a decision, and, pray for the best. It's like, those are the dudes that are complaining right now. Oh, well, he's taking forever to get to his top speed. Well, first off, he was probably chipped at the line. Secondly, if he wasn't chipped at the line, he has to accelerate. He has to build up to that speed. Even Tyreek Hill, he might have a 99 acceleration. It's still going to take him a couple steps to get up to full speed. I was using Nick Chubb. He probably has the best acceleration for running backs in the game. That dude is crazy fast. He got up to full speed quick after he trucked somebody in the hole. He still got up to full speed. So these dudes complained about the player movement. I really don't get it. It feels great to me, but that's just me.
But see, something else though, Bills. How many of these guys actually know how running backs actually use their speed? You know what I'm saying? Because when we met, when Sim and I, when we were at the studio before and we met Alfred Morris, he told us about how they have real short bursts of speed. Yep. They only burst when they get to the second level and they got one defender to get past, or there's a clearing there. They don't use that speed typically until they get past the line of
people think they're supposed to be running at top speed as soon as they get the handoff. It doesn't work like that.
They don't do that. It's like they navigate through the hole, then they go through at normal speed, and then when they get up to the next level, that's when they hit it. But even then, it's a short burst. So even then, the Devils is like, oh, snap. So see, that's the thing. They have their own impression of what they perceive based upon footage and stuff they go by, but it's another thing when you have the dudes that do the work telling you how it's supposed to be. So that's why when you see cats online trying to listen, if Pat Mahomes, if Tyreek Hill is supposed to be able to get into the secondary that easily and burn everybody that fast, Pat would be connecting all game long to him in real life. If it was that simple. So
And
it's clearly it's not like.
Well, that goes back to, you got guys who game and they think they have the highlight play mentality. They feel like every play is a highlight.
Right.
That's one of the things. That's one of the reasons why I wasn't really a big fan of some of these superstar traits, because it's just going to enhance or think people be incentivized to just have a highlight play every time they hike the ball. Well, no, it doesn't work like that. Even the best players don't have highlight plays like that. They just don't. Those type of things happen once, maybe twice a game. That's why you see them highlighted on ESPN. That's why they're called highlight plays. You know what I mean?
But that's what killed me about Madden, even when they added RPM in, its smaller form last year, was those cuts that you have to make to get to that hole weren't there. Now they're there. Like, you'll be running to the right and you might be cutting through the C gap, and you got to just make a little turn to get through there. Not a like major turn, but you have to do a little lean. Now they do the little lean. It's not just, turning without decelerating now. Now you have to decelerate. You have to bend your knees, lean your body, get through the hole. Then you press turbo, right? Then you try to find, a little gap between the cornerback that's bearing down and the safety. But that's football. Running backs aren't taking the ball, when they take a handoff and just running into their lineman's back full speed. You know how often they would run into their lineman's back full speed? That's why Adrian Peterson starts off, he said, he starts off so deep in the backfield because he wants that explosion when he takes the handoff, so he doesn't run into his lineman's back, because he's moving so fast. He's not going to be able to cut on a dime and get to the outside when he's literally going to be up on his lineman in a split second. So they don't get that. They don't get how the speed of the NFL works. It is in bursts. It really is. It's not that you're running half speed, but you're not running like you're on a dead sprint running away from people. It's completely different. You have to cut. You have to maneuver. You have to make yourself skinny when you're going through the line. There's a lot of things that are different, and it's the same thing when a receiver catches a slant route. If a receiver catches a slant route, you know how often it is that cornerback may be beat, but he's going to literally tackle that receiver and be right on him. It's not going to be a shoestring tackle. Like, you have to be extremely fast to be able to just, break plays like that. But they don't get that. They just think, they watch Tyreek Hill do some crazy shit. They don't realize 90% of the game, they're keeping him in a bracket so he can't do that stuff. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing. It's like
that's why I say some of these plays that happen, they're highlight plays for a reason.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? These are not things that happens all the time. Like,
bro, a highlight play doesn't even really happen once a game.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's half the time ESPN is trying to make a highlight out of something.
Yeah. Yeah. You'll see some nice throws, but you're not going to see, guys getting their ankles broken every game.
Right. They don't happen like that.
That's why there are certain guys that you'll watch week to week with the possibility of that happening. Like, people used to watch Chris Johnson. They think he's going to hit a home run, but a lot went into Chris Johnson breaking those big runs that these guys just don't understand when they play Madden. They just look at the attributes and they think, yeah, I'm automatically going to be able to do this, but you don't pay attention to the blocking scheme or where the cutback lane is or how the safety's barreling down. And you might have to cut all the way to the outside and beat them with your speed then. It's like, this is the first year in a long time you actually do have to manage your turbo. You will run yourself out of the play. If you don't, you will. And they just, like I said, they just don't want to adjust, and it's unfortunate. But right now, I'm enjoying the game. I'm really enjoying the game. A lot of running backs feel really different. I mean, Saquon Barkley and Christian McCaffrey feel different than, Dalvin Cook and Nick Chubb and Sony Michel and guys like that. So it's definitely a benefit, man. It's definitely a benefit, the player movement for sure.
What are your overall thoughts about the game, Smitty? Like, as far as you rating it, if not, that's fine. But what are your overall thoughts about this current version of Madden?
This one, I mean, I would. If I was to give it a numerical rating, I'd have to say like 6.5 because it's missing so much.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, but I mean, if we're going from 1 to 10, that that's
because
fair.
The gameplay I rated a 9.
I
I didn't even rate the rest of it.
Really?
I just said gameplay 9. I just said I didn't rate the rest of it. I'm like, franchise we already know, so
yeah. I mean, stacked up to other games like FIFA, PES, NHL 2, NBA 2K and all that. If I was just going off of gameplay, I still would have to go in that same area, like 6.5, 7 area, because there's so much more they can do and elaborate on that'll really take the game up. But they got to keep this stuff in there. That's the challenge for Madden, to actually keep it there going forward. Right. Other games they keep going with it, but we need to see Madden do the same thing. Hold on, baby. We need to see Madden actually do the same thing and follow suit with carrying stuff forward. So if they do, though, they'll have something. But that's where I'm at with it.
PES built the player movement engine for years.
Yes.
They built on it.
Facts.
FIFA built their contact engine for years. To the point where, that jersey tugging wasn't in year 1. Like, they added the physics. And then they kind of, they built upon the physics. Then they added the jersey tugging. So I mean, yeah, Madden has to build a base and go from there. You can't just rebuild every year. It's like every year they're starting from the ground up, and that's kind of the issue.
All right, here's a question I want y'all to this is a comment. I want y'all to respond to it. Mr. Ham said, "Here's my problem. If they patch anything, including presentation, that would affect the gameplay and player movement. Do y'all think that will be the case with these current consoles, the new ones?"
No.
Because you had limitations on the last two. You technically didn't have limitations with this current the last generation, but you had limitations based on the way the game was built. But with these new consoles, I wonder, do y'all think would that be the case? It will touch something and break something else.
That hasn't been a problem in a few years. That hasn't been a problem in a few years though. So that's no.
I'm just curious. I mean, that was a good suggestion. I want to know because that's something that's a lot of people that have been afraid of for a while now. Let's see. Y'all would know better than I would. He said, "Does this still have the same camera options? Any new camera angles or whatever?"
No
new camera angles. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it just seems.
And actually, the broadcast camera got worse this year, which doesn't make any sense. It
don't let B5 hear that.
Yeah. It's not a. How do I put it? It's not a TV broadcast camera. It's more like a side camera now. It's not.
Gotcha. It's like just a side, press box type camera type.
Bro, I remember the first year they put it in. They had them specific to each stadium.
Each stadium, yeah. I remember that.
Built on it because I guess people don't really use it. The amount of people who use it is kind of in the minority, I suppose. So.
Mm-hmm. Mr. Ham is on the roll. He has another comment. He said, "I kind of feel for these developers for Madden. Their hands are tied, even though this is what they signed up for." Yeah, I mean, Kralo kind of. I don't think he's a developer. I don't know him. I don't follow him.
No, he's a community manager.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure he understands, and I think we all felt that way because we know who really wants what in what game and how they want it. It's just up to the people who are under them to actually convince and actually tell them, "Hey, look, this is how it's supposed to be." So I do feel bad for him too. I mean, I see what Kralo came through, what he was saying, and I talked about it on the live stream on Twitch about it, and it's kind of like something that we all four of us been talking about for years. It's kind of heartbreaking that these guys have all these ideas, they all have all these things that they want to implement, some things that they can actually change for the better when it comes to sim football, and it just feel like it's not the time for it to be put in, or it shouldn't be implemented at all. So going forward, what do y'all think about that? How do y'all feel about that being constantly an issue, or you think it's going to be something we'll be able to overcome?
What?
Well, I think the language barrier between the suits and the devs, and also the gamers themselves, there's a language barrier there. Obviously, the suits are more worried about how much money they can make. The devs are trying to make the best game. It's basically caught in the middle. The devs are caught in the middle.
Right.
They're basically trying to make the best game possible. But the thing is, it's like you're like the devs. They understand the gamer language, but the suits don't understand the gamer language, nor do they understand anything else besides how much money did we make. So you got a language barrier on both sides. it's gonna be impossible.
What are your guys' thoughts, Smitty, Bills?
I mean, huh? No, I'll go get it. I'm sorry. I didn't know you wanted it. I'm sorry. Oops, I'm sorry. My wife was calling me. Hold up. Go ahead.
You good. You good. Handle your business.
I mean, look, I don't feel sorry for the devs. I'll be 100%. I don't feel sorry for them. They don't have to take the grunt of the punishment the way Kralo does online. He literally has to. He's a community manager. They don't. They make the game and they go home. It's that simple. You've seen Clint go and protect his tweets and just block people. Equipment Guru picks and chooses who he responds to, and the same with Swami and all them dudes. I don't feel sorry for them. There's nothing to feel sorry for them about. Especially when they come out and they say things that are directly not true. Also, when your interactions oftentimes with our community are negative because we're asking a simple question, you can't give us an upfront answer, or you make it seem like we're nitpicking, I can't feel sorry for you from that perspective either. I mean, we've asked them what ratings do, and they've ignored us. But let us put out a clip that they like, they'll retweet it. You know what I'm saying? I don't feel sorry for them. As far as the communication between the suits and the devs, it's pretty simple. It's what I said before. They need to say, look, us putting this shit in the game is not going to affect revenue. These motherfuckers are going to buy the game regardless, because they are. The track record suggests that. So that's what they need to tell the suits. I don't think, and I'll be honest, I don't think the suits even interject as far as what features should be in the game year to year. I think they interject as far as what the one thing is that they know will make them money. That has to come out, point blank period. It has to be good. It has to be on point, which is MUT. It can't come out fucked up. I think that's their primary focus as the suits, as far as the suits go. But I don't think they know much about how the game operates. I don't think they give a fuck. But that's what I'm saying. The devs need to make it clear to them that investing in making the game better will bring the revenue, because those people are going to stay as long as we have MUT in our game. And it's true. That's how I feel about that.
And I think case in point is that MUT increases in revenue every single year.
Every single year.
So it doesn't matter if the game goes backwards or forwards.
Doesn't matter.
Still come and play for MUT. So they're gonna get their money.
Yeah. So that's what they need to make.
The thing is, they need to recognize that. And I don't think they do. I think they just like you don't want to. You ever heard like the old saying, the customer's always right? They start complaining, and then that's what they're going to cater to. They always do that. I mean, I agree. I mean, they're going to buy it regardless. But if they're complaining, you're not going to ignore them. And that's the problem that needs to be fixed. The fact that, hey, look, you motherfuckers can take a seat for a minute. So I mean, this game needs to be like what we see on Sundays. And, then that's when they really start whining because their linebacker can't cover 40 yards. You know what I mean? And that's the thing that we have to do. It's not only just MUT. You got people that play, they play in these tournaments, and these tournaments make money when they play them. When they go to these tournaments, they make a lot of money. Now they're making TV revenue when they go on these tournaments. They're making ads on Twitch, ad revenue on Twitch. So it's like that too. If those guys start saying something about the game and they can't do their little tweaks and stuff to make the game unrealistic as shit, then they're going to complain.
They're still going to enter the tournament.
Yeah, they're going to enter it, but I'm just telling you. But when they complain, they're the ones that they're going to cater to. I'm not saying that they're not going to do it. It's just that they need to understand that as well. But like I said, it goes back to that same concept. They feel like, hey, these are guys that are customers that make them real money for us. They're buying the game beyond they're giving us money beyond the copy of the game. So they're going to listen to them first, which like I said, I don't think they should. But I'm just telling you the reality of it. They will, because if such and such decide, like, fuck it, I'm going to play NBA 2K, and go to their tournament instead of Madden. If it's one big name that does that, that could be a big PR nightmare for them, and they don't want that. I think that's the problem that they have.
I'll be honest, I don't think the suits pay attention to any of the complaining. I don't think they even know about it.
To me, I disagree, because all the stuff is going on. If they didn't pay attention, we wouldn't be having this discussion. And that's just my honest opinion.
Well, I mean, this technically isn't an up-to-date discussion because, like I said, the past 2 years they haven't touched the game. So I mean, it's not really an up-to-date discussion. People are just bitching on Twitter. It's a Tuesday. I mean, we're talking about it, but it's not really an up-to-date discussion.
So you're telling me that none of this has been affected on last 2 years? Because I know we had this conversation. I know because I know we had this conversation about this in Madden 20.
No, we didn't.
It's really gonna depend on each individual's timeline, how much we see, who complains about what. We already know how the platform and how the internet works. You see mostly what you scavenge for. So
I mean, it's not just the average gamer. I mean, you're talking about people who like playing in these tournaments. Like W had a breakdown over Madden 20, which that shit is irrelevant in my opinion. But they listen to people like that. Problem had a breakdown over Madden 20. Like I said, those guys are irrelevant to me because they don't really play the game like you see on Sundays. But those are the people, and those people follow them. They listen to that type of shit. That's the problem that I have.
But they have breakdowns, and then the game didn't change. So I mean, it didn't matter. They could bitch all they want. So they can go to the fucking rooftop.
Yeah, they did something to it because by the end of the damn dev cycle, you've been doing bullshit in these tournaments. So they did something to the game.
They were doing bullshit in the tournament.
No. I'm just saying, like these tournament guys, like I said, these are the ones that they're following, and the shit ain't right, but that's what they do.
But what I'm saying is, the game didn't change. They were doing bullshit.
It changed enough when I saw what the hell they were doing. We had problems with Madden 20 that not many people been playing that game. When the game, by the time even before playoff time, a lot of people was not playing Madden 20 no more. Yeah, I know they weren't because the game changed outside of the gameplay we had prior to the game.
I don't remember anything that changed in Madden 20 because they said they weren't touching the pass rush and the whole cycle went and they didn't touch it.
Man, that game was not the same that when it came out in the beginning.
Hold on.
Only people were still playing Madden 20. People was like in online leagues or like your casual, or the majority of people put that game down because it had issues.
No, wait a minute. I'm gonna tell you up front. The game, starts out one way, then the tournament season happens, it changes into another, but then after the tournament ends, it changes.
It goes back. It goes back, right?
So
it does.
It does go through changes. It's just that when a lot of us see that it starts changing towards the tournament style, we stop playing because it's just like,
right,
the bullshit. It's like a yearly cycle. We go through this every
soon as MCS starts, you see these stupid ass updates come in, and they do this, that, and the third, and then all of a sudden nobody wants to touch the game, and then when the cycle's over and the game is free on damn EA Player or whatever, then the game is back to normal where it was in the middle of the damn football season.
Here's the other variable though. Bills and we both play with sliders, so those changes get nullified because
and I don't. So I see it. I see it immediately because I always play like all pro default.
But we know not to play it at default even from the start.
I'm just telling you what it is.
No. I see. This is the thing. I see both your side's points because I've played it all the way through, just like you have. I know Bills has played it throughout the year, but we make adjustments to the game. But we also understand that at default, it's at the mercy of what they patch into the game and out the game. So
right,
that's what we
now. And I will say this as well. To be honest, I mean we've been saying this for years. I mean even when we talked about the sliders episode, the damn game shouldn't even have to get to that point, to be honest with you. It should have never been that way. Versus shouldn't have had to say Charter 04, Gerard 21, Playmaker. All them dudes shouldn't even have a say because this game should be coming out to the way where it plays decent football out the gate. It shouldn't be that way. But, I mean, that's what we have to deal with. So, yeah, you guys are masking the stuff, and I commend it. I'm not knocking. I'm just saying don't. But it shouldn't even be that way.
I mean, all I can say is the things that they profiled that they said they weren't going to touch the past 2 years, they haven't touched. And based on that, if that means they're not going to touch player movement, they can go ahead and fuck up whatever else they want in the game because it's not going to matter. Player movement's the foundation, and everything else sliders will be able to fix. That's my stance on it.
Right. Yeah, it's just, my main thing is, I've been watching this stuff for years. I've been watching over a decade, and I've seen the playbook happens. And I'm not saying I would not be like, I'm not going to be blind to the fact that if it happens again. I mean, it happened damn near every damn Madden that came out, something changed, and either they did one thing but it messed up something else, or they actually left something alone, but something else was not addressed. So my main thing is just be mindful of any changes that may happen when they tune something, because it's like clockwork, damn near every Madden.
You said to keep your tune something, because I go to NHL.
right.
And play any version of the game, I feel like it. So it's just, the one thing that they need to put in Madden.
Yeah, they need to let you roll back some of that stuff, but they won't let you do it, and I don't know why. What's the difference between that and what NHL is doing? But I digress. I don't even know where to begin with that one. Yeah,
Canada versus
because like I said, I don't know what it takes to be a dev or what they need to do to fix it or whatever. So I was
the only thing, NHL is not on Frostbite, but they pretty much have been working on the same engine that Madden started out on, that Ignite engine. They've just been reluctant to go away from it, because I know they're scared now because of how Madden has taken when they initially jumped on to Frostbite, how they took that step back and suffered. So, just to go on another tangent about just player movement and player interaction, I feel like NHL is probably the most balanced game when it comes to that under EA Sports.
Right.
You got a perfect blend right now with that game. So
yeah. Let me see if I got any.
This game is going back and forth between Dallas and Baltimore.
Yeah, I'm not surprised with that. Let's see.
Wow, that was broken.
Chris Thomas is in the chat. What's going on? Appreciate that. G Rob says I got a feeling you will patch the player movement. I do disagree with that. I don't think they're going to do that. I don't think they're deliberately going to do it. My main thing, and that's the problem with it, like sometimes they do something and it touches something else, and that's what I'm afraid of. I don't think they're going to go in and say, hey, we fine-tuned the player movement so everybody run on skates again. I don't think they're going to do that. But I do think that, I think that my main fear is that they'll try to do something else and then it'll mess up something else. I mean, that's been like, that's one of the biggest fears that I've been having. Chris Thomas says, can I get my review on Madden 21 Next Gen, or do you do it already? We pretty much did it already. We talked about, we're just talking about the back end of it. Let's see. G-Rob said, is the Next Gen version available on PC? No, it's not. Absolutely not. You still got the old version of the game. Erlacher1, I haven't seen you in a while. It says, speaking of Madden 20, Mr. Hurricane is still playing Madden 20 with abilities off. That is something nobody really talked about, because a lot of people have been talking about playing the game with ability. I think even Chris Thomas said that a while back, that playing the game with abilities off made the game much better. Now that was back in Madden 20. So I never did it, and I just can't get past the running animation of Madden 20. It's like horrible.
Yeah, who's Mr. Hurricane?
Mr. Hurricane, he's a Vikings fan that is a YouTuber. He has done one of the best.
Like franchise.
I would say he's done one of the best APF season series that I've ever seen. He's done a pretty good job with not only just APF 2K5, and he's done a lot of stuff with Road to Glory on NCAA 14, and he plays a lot of Madden. I mean, he just plays a lot of football games. His work is actually pretty good. Let's see. Chris Thomas says, I think the tourney guys want to stay on old gen for Madden Championship instead of next gen, in my opinion. I can agree with that, because that's what they're used to. There's gonna there's gonna do why you do that to Mr. Hurricane, man? That man's a good dude for the community. Don't do that man like that.
Talking about the tournament guys.
Right. What are you talking about?
Oh, no, I'm just saying I agree that they want to stay on that, because they that's what they're used to. And I don't think they're going to a tournament on a brand new game on short notice. I don't see them doing that. So I don't think it has anything to do with the game being bad. I think it's just like, you don't want to throw Street Fighter 6 to a main Street Fighter player and say, hey, the tournament's next month. I don't think they would do that.
Well, aren't they supposed to be pros?
Yeah, but then again, you already got your scheme set up for one, so I think they'll probably just stick with one.
Supposed to be pros, right? It's the same plays, adjust.
Hey, I think in a tournament, this adjusting thing don't even matter. They can do whatever the fuck they want to do with Tourney. My main thing, just keep it sim over here because they don't play sim at all. They can do whatever the fuck they want to do over there. But I can see that. I mean, it's like giving somebody a brand new game and tell them, hey, $20,000 on the line, go and try to play. And I don't think nobody would want to risk that.
After the game, no.
Let's see. G-Rob said, "Do you guys think Madden should have their engine, not Frostbite?" From what I've seen, Frostbite is just a visual upgrade. I haven't seen anything that Frostbite has done that was like gameplay wise. So, yes or no, it doesn't really matter or anything like that. Complimentary Sports said, "Hey, I found when I adjust sliders, they do an update." Elaborate on that. I don't know what you mean by that.
Better than they can ever have it functioning.
I'm trying to figure out what do you mean by that?
Because when we do sliders and we start displaying gameplay, it finds its way into their office and they get mad because
I see what you're saying.
Better with our sliders than their fucking setup, and then they go and they put out a patch and say, "Oh, now the zero theory doesn't work anymore. Find another way to fix coverage because we're not
right." Miss Goose said he's a big friend. Yeah. Hurricane is a really big guy. He's really big on franchise mode. That's one thing I can say about him. He does really good. He has a really good series in a lot of these games on franchise mode. G-Rob says what he's talking about, not Frostbite. He said engine strictly for sports. I would like for them to make Madden a football game from the ground up. That's kind of what I was thinking that they were going to do in this generation, but they didn't. So that's one of my gripes about the game. It's not necessarily the gameplay. It's just like, yo, you guys aren't giving us a new experience. I feel like this game could have been on the last consoles. That's my main issue with the current state of Madden.
I look at it like this. I know. Let's see, what was it? Just to go on G-Rob's point, it doesn't have to be strictly for sports. The engine. I'm like, you look at the Fox engine. That was Metal Gear and then PES, and they did just fine. So you just need if you just need to get the player movement at the core, player movement and player interaction at the core of your game, and build the engine based off of that can show those at the best light. So you start there. Any engine will do.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I can agree with that. Let's see. Joe Number said the Ignite engine wasn't bad. Like I said, the O-line, D-line gameplay any better on next gen?
Yes.
Those. I mean, the current gen wasn't even bad, so I can imagine if it's better, that'd be dope.
Yeah, ratings, momentum, weight and momentum matter a lot more, and more reach tackle animations. Yeah, there's a lot of new stuff.
Yeah, because I would say the current generation, the line play was not an issue at all. I actually enjoyed the line play in the game, so that's refreshing to know. Let's see. Ignite engine wasn't bad. Yeah, I saw that already. Complimentary Sports said I fixed the game. The update destroys. Yeah, and welcome to the club. Everybody said welcome to the club. They didn't reach their peak on Ignite engine. I really wish they hadn't switched to Frostbite. I agree, and I still don't think they reached their potential with the last generation consoles either. But
peak with Ignite because they lied about what was going to be in it to begin with.
Yeah.
Yeah, they kind of did. That is true.
Yeah, right now, NHL is the only game that's stuck with Ignite, and
yeah, you see how that goes. Complimentary Sports is pretty much doing what I've done with NCAA 14. He said, I played Madden 19. I fixed the game with sliders, whole new experience. That's how NCAA 14 is. They don't touch the game no more. You don't have to worry about any more updates. You don't have to worry about anything crazy going on. I got my own set of sliders. I've passed them around to a lot of people. A lot of people love those sliders. G-Rob could vouch for my sliders. He plays NCAA 14 on PC. I think Sweet Jones is another one that could vouch for it. Mike Stanley. A lot of guys who are on Twitter, I've passed them around. I am a big fan of like getting these older games and just tweaking them the way they're supposed to be, and you will not have this issue. The problem is a lot of people like to play the newer games, and when you play the newer games, these games don't come out 100%, so they constantly have to update, fix this, do that, and you can never stay on point saying, hey, if I change this, I'm going to be okay for the remainder of playing this game. But no, you touch this, you better watch out for the next update because something may change. Let's see. Chris Thomas says, I think they need to tweak the defense for next gen. Bills, what you think?
Chris Thomas, I've been saying this since we figured out that reaction time at 3 is the best way for defense to play. They need to have the defense and the defenders in zone playing the way they do with the reaction time on 3. Until they have it playing like that, yeah, there's a lot of tweaking they need to do to the defense. Because as flat-footed DBs, when you have it on default, then you put it on 3, all of a sudden there ain't no flat-footed DBs anymore. It makes no sense. It's crazy.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, I think we all, for me, I haven't played the game, but I'm satisfied in the state that it's in. You still don't have your reps on the field, still no chain gang. The crowd is a little bit better. The atmosphere is a little bit better, but the modes are not there. But I think at the end of the day, I think Madden is in a all right situation. But I want us to look at Madden like how people look at NBA 2K or how they look at PES or how they look at these other sports titles, to where saying like, hey, these games have their problems, but these games actually give me exactly, I'll say maybe 90% of what I want. I think a lot of people are saying that with Madden, I'm getting 90% what I want just on the field, but the whole experience of having a football game is just not there. And I think that's an issue that needs to be fixed.
Well, shit, that's the same problem that Madden had. They wouldn't fix their manager mode for a bunch of years. They just now overhauled it the past couple of years. It was garbage. It was as bad as Madden's franchise mode.
Right. Complimentary Sports said, are my sliders online for NCAA 14? I did a video on them a while back. If you could check the channel, you'll probably find them. If not, I may do a refresh video because there may be a few things I changed. But I noticed that a lot of people have been asking, since people are playing the game on the PlayStation 3 emulator on PC now. A lot of people have been asking about those sliders. But what I've been doing, I've just been passing them around like screenshots of what they look like. But I can actually do an update video on them to what they do. I don't do many sliders, but I knew that with this game not being touched anymore, I decided to play around with the gameplay, and I got a set that actually works. And there's not going to be any more updates on the game, so I'm good. I'm in a good situation with it, so we'll see how that goes. We're working on NCAA 2K8 sliders.
He says
Tell me. Yeah, he's working on them. Let me know how that works out. Let me know how it works out, because I'm not saying it's a bad thing, because a lot of people have tried it. There's a thread on Operation Sports, but nobody can get it 100% right. Like there's still some things that just could. The gameplay on default is really good, so it's not much to do. But some people were trying to get it to where, like, no matter what type of archetype you have on the court, they play like their counterparts. And I think that game is most based on user than anything. I think that's one of the basketball games that where usering the players mean the most, because the CPU is okay, but the logic is not 100% like we think it'll be.
The one reason that game annoys me is because they don't have autoplay for the offensive side, so you end up running the same vanilla freelance sets. Or having
the thing about it is you run straight play. You run straight plays in College Hoops 2K. They do have like certain things you could do. They have certain things you could do, like you can do like certain zones. You can do certain like motion, but they don't have like. It's not like NCAA 10 where they're like really moving around and moving the ball and doing back cuts and ball reversals. 2K8, you can do them, but they want the user to do it. It's not more like the CPU doing. Like if you user like the game plan and do everything yourself, it's a work of art the way the game plays. It's not a bad game. It's just that I think if you watch that game play CPU versus CPU, you know what I mean, because it's like very robotic. But when you're like really using it, it flows like it's supposed to. We're about to get into the Carson Wentz benching in a minute. We're gonna talk about that in a second. Joe Number says, agree, via Madden needs different broadcast booth, different settings. They need all that. They need a whole new better presentation. They just need a whole new atmosphere of the game. I mean, you kind of get it on the field now. I mean, I saw it in current Gen Madden 20 when it felt a little bit better, but it's just that, to me, I mean, I talked about this since Madden 20. It just doesn't feel right when you're playing a game and the refs aren't on the field and all of a sudden you hear a penalty. To me, that's kind of merging this bullshit. Like, who's calling the penalty? Somebody from up in the booth? It's like that makes no sense. 2K8 is better than 2K10. No, I don't think it's better. They're two different games. They're two different games, but they play well.
Yeah, but 2K exists anyway.
Huh? Yeah, I he meant NCAA basketball. I know what he meant, but no, NCAA 2K10 don't exist. But let's see your opinion on that. Some content creators are saying that they're going to stay playing old gen instead of next gen.
Fine, go ahead.
Yeah, I was like,
over there in your old antiquated ass world.
I'm gonna tell you like I will tell you like this. I play games regularly on my original Xbox. I don't care. You know, I play old games and I have a blast. So if that's what they want to do, it's fine. But it's just my thing is I understand why the tournament guys want to do it. I get it because you don't want to. I mean, like nobody will feel comfortable playing in the tournament with a brand new game out the bat. They just won't. That's why you see a lot of tournaments are done at the end of the cycle. They've been practicing and labbing all this long time. I don't think no tournament guy there be at a disadvantage. But your average YouTuber, I mean, hey, I don't give a fuck. Yo, I commend you if you decide to pull out Madden 08 for the 360 and play shit. Hell, I might watch your damn content. So it's fine with me.
All I gotta say is if their basis for doing that is that they think current gen is better, they're on crack and they need to be drug tested immediately. That's all I'm saying. I'm gonna leave it.
Yeah, so I mean, to me, I don't care. My main thing is I feel like all content creators should do what they feel that they should do and not do it because it's popular. I mean, that's a problem we got with YouTube now. They do a lot of shit that's popular and they're not being themselves. And 5 years from now, they're having a nervous breakdown. But that's another subject for another day. Kind of off subject, but I was. Watching another podcast show earlier today, and behold, Coach Ruckus, and he is not there. Let's get off of that.
Bitch, we already, because honestly, we did talk about that for like a quick.
We talked about that. That was like what the after show we talked about Ruckus on that. What he's talking about now. I never listened to that content, but hey, if it helps a man get a woman, I'm not mad at him. But it's not for me, man. I'm good.
Plus, at the same time, if I want dating advice,
read beer like the Undertaker.
Look, if I ever want dating advice, I'd rather take it from a female because that's what I'm going after. I want their insight on how they should be approached versus how I should be approaching women from a man that was eating dry pancakes.
I would say this, and I don't want to open up another discussion because this is going way off topic, but it's nothing wrong with men talking to men about how to approach women. Sometimes that advice is good, but it doesn't mean that you get it from. Certain people don't need to be giving that advice. I just put it that way.
Coach Ruckus needs to give advice on how to keep that same energy when he sees somebody in person. That's what Coach Ruckus needs to have a conversation.
I ain't gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. He should have kept that same energy for a particular person, but I'm not gonna go there.
I think if there's anybody's ass that particular person can whoop, it'd be Coach Ruckus.
So
bad news.
Let's talk. Let's talk about Carson Wentz getting benched, man. What do you guys think, man? Like, listen, I thought he was gonna get benched because of injury. He can't stay healthy, but I mean, he actually hasn't played pretty well this year. Spectacular Pool was waiting for us to talk about that, but yeah. What do you guys thought? Jalen Hurts, you think he's going to take over? Or how do you think that's going to play out? Smitty, you go first.
Well, I haven't actually, as far as that situation, honestly, I haven't even checked into it in depth, so I honestly can't fully talk about it. But the one thing I will say though is that look, you brought in the young gunner for a reason. You know what I'm saying? So give him a shot and see what happens. You know what I'm saying? Like it's the same kind of case scenario that happened with Russell Wilson. He came in, they brought in, I forgot the quarterback's name at the time, but they had just signed already proven, like veteran level QB to be the guy. Wilson comes in, shows out, and then he ends up being, what he is now. You know what I mean? So it's like if he has one good outing, hey, cool. Let's see what he does, consistently. Like give him some time, give him some legit run. It's Jalen Hurts, right?
Yeah, Jalen Hurts. Yeah,
Yeah, like
Jalen Hurts.
give him some legit burn. I mean, never know what may happen when Matt Flynn, that was a situation there. Yeah, but hey, give him a chance. I mean, if he had one good outing, who knows what may happen the next. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you got you I don't know. I think Carson has had enough chances to be the man. And it's not working in that role. Maybe it's a scheme. Maybe it's just him. I don't know. But I mean, I think he had enough chances. Give the young guy, give the young guy some burn and see if he can really make something of himself. So I mean, that's all I could really make of it because I mean, look, hey, here in Detroit, we basically about to face that kind of situation soon anyway. Because I mean, what happened with Matt? We wasted him. I feel terrible about that because he's a great quarter. He's been a great QB for us. But we at some point we have to bring somebody in to be the next guy, and it's like when you find somebody that has that potential to really show out and can. I mean, I know it's one game, but still, if he comes in and he does it week in week out and he shows that promise that's good. You know what I mean? That's not something you could typically find,
Right.
if it's a draft pick or not. I mean, look at the Dwayne Haskins situation. You know what I mean? Like people really looked at him to be something, and then it's looking like it's not panning out, and Alex Smith is going to be the man there. So I don't know. We just I'm glad for my man's. Like I'm glad to see him doing his thing.
Give DJ a bottle of.
All right, honey. All right, but I'm glad Jalen when he got the opportunity, he did good. Show improve and get some consistency under that. And that should be the Eagles man right there for the future. Build around him. Give him the offensive pieces. They have a decent defense, but build around the kid. If he's proven positive. So
What are your thoughts, DJ?
Wow, where do I begin? Well, I know this year it's been a patchwork on the offensive line. It's been shoddy play calling. I think Wentz.
I'll be right back, fellas. Keep talking.
I think Wentz on his own tends to hold on to the ball too long, but then you also got to look at the other side of the equation. Are the receivers getting open? Like, what's the chemistry like with any of his receivers that he has? Obviously, in the game when Jalen Hurts came in, he automatically was throwing the ball down the field. He pretty much was, just let's see. Okay, yeah, he pretty much was, taking chances that I felt like Wentz wasn't trying to take. Watching Eagles Twitter talk about the coaching aspect of it, it's just like, are you using them just as a straight back quarterback, or are you really using Wentz to his full potential? Are you rolling him out? Are you using play action at the right time? Do you even have a sound run game, which they really don't? They haven't had a sound run game in quite some time. And a lot of times, the way you build up young quarterbacks in the NFL is that you have a solid run game behind them, unless you have something special at quarterback. And I felt like when they drafted Wentz, it wasn't that they had somebody special at quarterback. They had somebody that they could do some things with. And after that, you just have to build around them. Now, you have to look at the often injured receivers, Deshaun Jackson. You have to look at Alshon Jeffries, who was brought in to be the man, and he hasn't really panned out to be that way. Receivers getting separation from the other guys that have had to step up. I feel like they're not getting that much separation. Now they drafted receivers. A lot of people want to say they missed on the dude Jeffries out of that went to Minnesota and got Rager instead. But you see Jalen Hurts come in and use Rager right off the bat and throw him deep. They have another guy that they can work with that looks like that's going to be Alshon Jeffries' replacement. And, I wonder if Jalen Hurts is going to be able to connect with him. So I think this is kind of like 50-50 as far as why Wentz got benched. It's just too many things going on in that organization. And once they made that decision to go with Hurts, I don't think there's any going back. I'm like, the only negative to this is that Wentz counts 20-something million in the cap next year if they keep past a certain date. I don't know who's going to take him in a trade, but I don't think there's any going back. The man has been through injury because, remember, he had an MVP caliber season the year he went down. And it was only because they had Nick Foles that they wound up winning the Super Bowl. But we all saw that Nick Foles only goes as far as his expectations. So Wentz just, I think at the end of the day, it could be his confidence level. Him trying to do too much with, a shitty offensive line and receivers that are often injured and don't get open. So, and the play calling could be thrown in there too. I think he just needs a change of scenery to get to that next level of playing quarterback. But for now, I think Philadelphia's Hurts team.
Wow. Goop said Eagles gonna regret it when Belichick get him.
That's probably what's gonna happen.
I would not be surprised. That's like the only team I can see right now that's not strapped for cash. But I don't know their situation. But let's see. What are your thoughts about Jalen Hurts, Bills?
Jalen Hurts sucks. That's the first thing. Jalen Hurts is garbage. Jalen Hurts is not going to be a starter in this league. Okay, if Jalen Hurts goes and has a successful career as a starting quarterback, y'all can come back and roast me all you want to. Y'all can give L's in the chat, all that years down the road. Jalen Hurts is a fucking bum. Let's just get that off the bat. Secondly, let's look at some stats because stats never lie in these situations. All right. Carson Wentz has been sacked 10 more times than any quarterback in the league this year. He's been sacked 50 times this year, which is already more than he's been sacked at any point in his career, and it's only week 12. Let's just remember that. The second is Russell Wilson, who holds on to the ball too long half the time, and the other half of the time he's running around and gets sacked somewhere outside the pocket. So, you have to watch these games and know what's going on. The play calling, you called it shoddy at best. It's been shit. Doug Peterson's living off this one Super Bowl trip, and everybody thought he was this offensive genius. What has he done since? Carson Wentz gave you an MVP season last year. You want to know Carson Wentz's stats last year? Carson Wentz went for 4,000 yards, 27 touchdowns, and 7 picks. That's with Alshon Jeffrey only playing 10 games, and he gave you 400 yards in 10 games. 400 yards in 10 games. Will Fuller gave you 100 yards in 7 games straight. Alshon Jeffrey gave you 400 yards in 10 games. That's your top receiver. They were bottom half of the league. They were barely top half of the league last year in rushing. They're bottom half of the league this year in rushing. So I don't know how Jalen Hurts is any better. This is just a last-ditch effort to save your job, Doug Peterson. You want to save your job? How about you call some better plays? How about you realize that RPO is not going to work because nobody's threatened by your run game anymore? How about that? How about you realize that the reason why y'all getting in third and long situations is because you can't run the ball? How about you realize that You have an injury-prone receiver that you were leaning on for the longest time who's played 2 games this year, started 2 games this year. He suited up for 4. How about you realize that you got rid of the second best receiver who everybody rashed, but at least he got open, Nelson Aguilar.
Mm.
The list goes on and on. So you're putting Jalen Hurts in. Congratulations. You're going to strike out. And I'm going to laugh when he strikes out because, like I said, that was Carson Wentz last year. Carson Wentz does not get that bad in one offseason. I don't care who you are. You not get that bad in one offseason. He's leading the league in picks this year. That's fine. I gave you all the other stats that show why. And like Kia says, I don't think Wentz moves as well post-injuries. Peterson still loves running him on zone reads and quarterback runs. Yes, despite the fact that nobody's threatened by the running back, so they already know who's getting the ball. Nobody's getting open. You had Jordan Howard last year, and you were still just barely top half of the league in rushing. Now you have Miles Sanders, who's a third down running back at best. And you have 2 other third down running backs that are flanking him. This is not a situation in which Carson Wentz would thrive. So no, I'm not gonna bash Carson Wentz, and I'm not gonna act like Jalen Hurts is the answer because he's a fucking scrub. I'm sorry. I watched him miss wide open receivers in the Big 12 where they don't play defense with a clean pocket. I'm not about to sit here and act like with a bad defensive line, with a bad offensive line, that Jalen Hurts is gonna magically come in here and play well. There's a reason they drafted him where they drafted him, and they could have drafted him even lower than that because nobody was touching him with a 10-foot pole. He's not good. He wasn't good in Alabama with a great offensive line. He wasn't good in the Big 12 with a great offensive line and a conference that didn't play defense. What makes you think he's going to be great on a team with no running game, no receivers, no offensive line, and shitty play? I rest my case. I have nothing to say. I feel bad.
My situation is not against Jalen Hurts. It's just the fact that Wentz got benched. I'm actually surprised he got benched. I can give 2 shits about. I give 2 shits about what Jalen Hurts does.
It's not you being against Carson Wentz. It's just that everybody else has been talking about Carson Wentz's play, and they don't look at why this is happening. It's the exact same thing that's happening in Tampa Bay right now, where everybody's like, "Well, Tom Brady's not the same Tom Brady." Yeah, because he's throwing contested jump balls down the field in predictable formations, and you wonder why, Bruce Arians.
That's what I said. I don't think it's Carson Wentz's play. I mean, he digressed a little bit, but I don't think it's his play. My main thing was just, can he stay on the damn field? That was my issue.
Well, he's been able to prove that.
Games last year. He started all 16 games last year.
I still think he's injury prone.
He can be, but I mean, shit, when you're getting hit every 5 seconds, that clock's going to start getting faster.
That's not his fault at that point.
I'm not saying it's his fault. I'm just telling you what it is.
Wow. And here's the other thing. Here's the other thing that's even more of an indictment on the Eagles and their lack of personnel. You want to hear the attempts for Carson Wentz this year? 42, 43, 47, 28, 35, 40, 43, 27, 37, 45, 45, and last week was 15. That man's been throwing the ball over 40 times, like 5 times this year. Why is Carson Wentz a guy that you know is injury prone, throwing the ball that often? Because you don't have a fucking running game. So that's why. That's really why this is happening. So it's like that's my thing. I just Doug Peterson gets all the excuses in the world. All of a sudden, it's Carson Wentz's fault. But like we said, back when it was actually the right thing to do to blame Carson Wentz, nobody wanted to. Because they were winning with Nick Foles' look at me, there's no expectations on me ass. Mm-hmm. And they had a running game that he could lean on. And they had a defense that didn't have Brandon Graham out for the year. And they had a defense that had Malcolm Jenkins, who's now on New Orleans. So, like I said, it's a combination of things. When you can't lean on your defense, you can't lean on your run game, and you have to throw the ball, but you have nobody getting open, this is what happens. Yep. The Patriots won. They trounced the Chargers last week, and Cam Newton still had like 69 yards thrown.
Yeah, I know. Somebody told me that in the chat. I was like, what?
There's certain holes you can't cover up. But the difference is if the other side of the ball comes to play, you'll win some games.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, that's my thing, bro. I hope Carson Wentz goes somewhere else where he's not treated like a scapegoat. I hope he stays healthy. And I hope the Eagles rot for even drafting Jalen Hurts, let alone benching Carson Wentz in the middle of the season. I joked. I said Carson Wentz will get benched week 5 because he'll be injured, and Jalen Hurts will come and start. I didn't actually think the shit was going to happen as a result of play.
Yeah, that was what my thing was. I thought he was going to be benched because of injury. I always felt like he could not stay healthy. Something was going to happen to him.
Yeah,
but it's just, you know.
I think I was the only one who brought up performance. As far as
I never thought his performance was in question. Yeah, he made some subpar plays in his actual performance prior years, because there was some things that he done this year was like really questionable. But I mean, at the end of the day, I felt like he's still good enough to be a starter easily, and I don't think he should have lost his job just now. But I mean, that's what we're looking at right now. It's just, hey.
And the funny thing is, like, it's one thing to say to think, like, for me to think that he would be benched due to performance. I would think he'd be stinking up the joint, but you know, his performance based on the situation is exemplary. It's just like you have all this bad shit around you, and you're still able to perform, and then you get benched. That's why I said point blank, there's no going back. I'm like, you either stick with the captain and go down with the ship, or send the captain to another ship.
And my other thing was, you know, Key was talking about injuries, but he played 16 games last year. There's never been a situation where a quarterback with this amount of talent, or a quarterback in general, has this amount of drop off year to year. That can't just be the quarterback. And I think that's what people aren't getting. It's like, if you look at Carson Wentz's stats and you look at his play from last year, and then you look at what's happening this year, there's a direct correlation. There's a reason why it's happening. We haven't seen drop off like that. It went from 27-7 to 16-15. There are a lot of other factors that people aren't paying attention to. Carson Wentz is a very talented guy. Carson Wentz was an MVP candidate the year that he got hurt. This is not a Carson Wentz thing. Now, Carson Wentz may look bad in certain situations because, like I said, that clock is ticking a lot faster when you know that your line can't protect you, especially your backside.
Yeah, I think there's some plays that he made were questionable. I mean, that one pick six he made, you know, he made a couple of other bad throws, but I don't think it was nothing to the point where it's like, hey, he should get benched. I just think he just had, you know, a subpar season, but I don't think that's to the point where, hey, he needs to be on the bench. I mean, that's just performance wise. It's just like I said, like my main thing was, bro, dude's gonna get knocked out again. Something's gonna happen to him. He's not gonna be able to play because of, you know, the last couple of seasons. You know, something wasn't always right. You know, so that was my main thing.
So you let Hurts do just as bad. I want to see more of that energy at Peterson because I only saw little of it this year. No quarterback.
I would say something about that, but you know. I would say something about that because, you know, I just put it like this. We all know that the leash is short. I'll just put it like that. So let's not get it twisted about this situation. For Hurts, we know that. The leash is short. The leash is short.
I don't think it is at all.
The leash is short.
Whatever alternative do they have? I don't think the leash.
No, they will draft somebody before they let him play be the starter next year.
Yeah, but that's fine.
The lease is short.
Yeah, that's fine.
In 5 games, yeah, that's what I'm saying. In 5 games, that's how short the leash is.
But that's the wrong leash for a rookie quarterback you're throwing in over a guy that had been successful in the past. That's a long leash.
Yeah. We all know what I'm talking about when I say the leash.
The leash is short.
We all know what I mean by the leash is short. We're not going to play the games. We know we're not going to. We're not going to do that.
Game though, I mean, because the thing is, when you're talking about a short leash at quarterback, you have a guy that you shouldn't have drafted in the first place. If your short leash is the rest of the season, that's a long leash.
Well, look what happened to Tua.
Yeah, but I mean, Tua's a completely different situation, though.
Yeah, that's completely different.
Yeah, Tua's
I mean, I agree, but I'm just telling you, the leash is short. I mean, we all know what we're talking about here.
Yeah, but Tua,
I don't think it's short because they have no other alternative. They don't have another alternative.
I would not be surprised they go back to Wentz if it's that bad.
They're not going back to Wentz. I mean, they're not going back. Next year, he'll probably not. He'll more than likely be someplace else at this point because he'll play. He'll force their hand because you don't quit on somebody like that.
And more importantly, that's what the no alternative is. If you go back to Wentz, it's no better. So you have no alternative. If you go with Jalen Hurts right now, you have no alternative. You can draft the quarterback all you want to. Jalen Hurts,
they will. They will. They'll draft a quarterback before they'll draft a quarterback before they think about really solidifying him as the starter for next year.
This is going to turn into a quarterback carousel that doesn't involve Carson Wentz and Doug Peterson's really.
I mean, let's be honest. Prior to Wentz, that's what it was anyway.
Yeah, but Doug Peterson.
So it'll just be back to reality, you know. And between McNabb and Wentz, that's exactly what it was.
The difference is now it's on Doug Peterson's watch, and that's the discussion. The discussion is
McNabb was a better passer.
But once he left,
he developed into a better passer.
But once he left, it was a QB carousel. They're just going to go right back to what it was.
Yeah, but now this is a self-inflicted quarterback carousel, and that's the point I'm making.
It's a
different quarterback carousel because it's under a different coach that started out with a quarterback that had it made, and he's going to go and run him out of town, and you're going to start a guy that's a fucking scrub that you drafted way earlier than you should have.
Yeah, and they'll be drafting another one.
And then when he sucks, we're gonna draft another one. He's gonna come in and he's gonna be a scrub. Then you're gonna put Hurts back in. That's what I'm talking about.
Hold on now. I'm not gonna go that far. Now we don't know who they're drafting. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that because we don't know who they're drafting. Hell, we just don't. That doesn't mean Trevor Lawrence is the only QB that's going to succeed in the NFL.
Draft, bro.
We don't know that.
We've been watching college football all year.
Yes, we have, but we don't know who's going to do it. We don't know.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure
some unnamed quarterback could be decent, and I'm not going to do that.
Unnamed quarterback getting drafted late.
That's how it be sometimes, bro. I'm not saying that it's definite. That's how it be sometimes.
Philly's biggest worries on offensive line. I'm like, next to the quarterback situation, they need to shore up the offensive line and then get a running back.
It's not a fucking running back. Jesus Christ.
It's just, I'm like, Philly needs to go back to the style of the city. It needs to be gritty. It needs to be grimy. It needs to have a strong defense, strong run game to support any quarterback. They need a strong offensive line, defensive line. They need, a strong runner to back up whoever the quarterback is going to be. Why did you time up Phil G top?
I know I talked about Pelican, man.
I was like, what did he do?
Hurts a scrub. Talking about he'll be fine. Simmer down.
So Hurts will be fine. Nah, I don't think Hurts will be fine. I think Hurts is going to play these 5 games, and then he's going to be either on the bench or somewhere else. I don't think
going to come out looking like Nathan Peterman. He's going to be back.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't think Hurts is going to be anywhere close to the quarterback they think he's going to be. Like I said, they're probably not drafting a quarterback. That's just how it's
about their GM. That's literally what we've been talking about when we say.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, it's like you win a Super Bowl based on the fact that your main quarterback got hurt and your backup came in and just did the job that he was supposed to do. And all of a sudden, you're full of yourself after. It's like the Super Bowl victory didn't really teach this team to think long term for your main quarterback.
Well, you got to understand. You got to understand the condition they won the Super Bowl from. They won the Super Bowl. They won the Super Bowl off of the quarterback. The quarterback they have now is not necessarily. He's a part of it, but he's not the reason that they won that Super Bowl. So they're kind of like in a jacked up situation either way.
He's put him in great position,
home games.
Yeah, he put him in position. Putting him in position is one thing, but winning it is another. So it's like you kind of see the fruits of your labor.
But that's the thing. The GMs were thinking short term, and that's not what. Even after winning a Super Bowl, you still have to think long term. They got caught into the short game, and that's what is messing them up with Wentz right now because their vision is too narrow and too short.
Okay. I don't see it. My thing is it's kind of jacked up because it's like you can make a case to say that even though they end up going with Wentz post Super Bowl, you can make the case to say that wasn't the right move because even though he won like 12, 13 games for him at the time, it's like even after the fact that like Nick Foles basically took over and won the Super Bowl, and they won that Super Bowl off of a totally different, offensive game plan. So it's like,
yeah, but
it's hard. Either choice they would have made, you could have made the case that it wasn't the right choice, because you seen what happened when Nick Foles, actually continued to play, later on when he came back. I don't think he would have been done. I don't think he would have been that good week one running that same offense, because they kind of got figured out, So it's a double-edged sword. You don't know which either side, if you'd went with Wentz or Foles, would have been the right choice, because you see what happened when they did go back to Wentz. And going with Foles, I mean, a lot of people say like, hey, that might not have been a good idea either. It's like either way, it's a really unique situation. You're like, we don't know which move would have been right going forward after the Super Bowl.
I don't think there was any argument for keeping Foles. I think the only argument was to keep the quarterback that was clearly the better quarterback and a franchise quarterback until you ruined it.
Right, yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like, so with that being said, like, okay, people could say, and I'm with you on that, because I don't have a problem with picking. I don't have a problem picking with Wentz because he's the younger quarterback and he has more upside and he has more talent. But is that just to say that would have been the way to go to repeat or actually go far? It's like it's really hard to say, because it's like you don't know what would have happened even if Wentz would have been healthy for the rest of the season. Honestly, we don't know. Yeah, I mean, they were on the upswing, but like right now, the Steelers look good right now, but who's to say that they're going to win? You know what I mean? It's like you just don't know what would have happened. But yeah, when you look at the upside to it, yeah, absolutely. You don't want to get rid of Wentz in that situation, but like, is it? We just don't know at the end of the day. It's a really unique situation with what happens after you win that Super Bowl. The Eagles just put themselves in a really peculiar situation that I don't think that, really honestly, most teams don't even deal with. So it's like, it's really weird. Like, I don't think there was ever really a right answer to that, to be honest.
The Giants back in 86 had to deal with that.
With Hotsteller?
Yeah, Hotsteller came in. And
but then again, but see, the thing about
kind of like, okay, we're going with Phil Simms,
Montana, and Steve Young.
That's
the thing about Hotsteller and Phil Simms, that was a 1-game situation. I mean, like, didn't he get put in at the time of the Super Bowl? He didn't play any playoff games, so it wasn't like really a body of work to say, hey, Hotsteller's our guy after one game.
Eventually,
you know what I mean?
To be an issue. Well, I think, wait a minute, did Phil Simms retire like 2 seasons afterwards, or it started becoming a situation and then they just put in Hotsteller?
I don't know. It's just like, because like with that situation, you would think like, okay, if that happened after just the Super Bowl game and not a run through the playoffs, it's like that would have been really. It was almost like a no-brainer to say we're going to keep the guy who got us there, because that's just 1 game. You're not going to make Hotsteller the starter throughout the entire next season off of 1 Super Bowl game, regardless if you won or not. So I get it, but it's like Foles has a bigger body of work, and then they actually changed the offense. They did, they basically ran through the entire playoffs with this one guy. Not even the playoffs. They did like the last 2 or 3 games prior to the playoffs. So it was like a bigger body of work.
But here's the problem. You're saying it right now. Adjustments. I feel like when they went with Foles, yes, they adjusted the offense. If something's not working with Wentz, you don't necessarily have to change the quarterback. Just change how you call the offense. Change how you run the offense. Maybe that will work. It seemed like they just went and it was like, okay, well, we went back to the way we were playing, and he's not performing. We went back to the style of offense that we were running when Wentz was successful, and he's not being successful. Like, just looking at it in simple terms, and it's like, all right, well, we're gonna put Jalen Hurts in there, running that same type of offense, and see if he's successful. And he may experience initial success, but again, this is the GM, this is the coaches looking at the short-term aspect of it and not thinking long-term. And I think they just ruined the situation where they could fix. adjustment to how you play the game versus switching the guy at the helm.
No, I agree. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not in favor of benching Wentz. I just thought he should have got Wentz. He should have got benched because of injury. You know, I mean, I never was like necessarily saying that he should have been gone. Like his play on the field should not have been the reason why he got benched. That's my take on it. I was actually surprised. I mean, that's one of the reasons why it's a topic now, because I'm like, wait a minute, he actually got benched for this guy. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Hurts is not the guy to do anything on the field, in my opinion. I'm with Bills as far as his performance. I mean, I'm not in favor of it. That's why I say, like, with this situation, he's on a short leash, and like if they had a third string, he probably wouldn't even be playing after that. And I don't see him playing at all after the season's over. I mean, unless if he really, really balls out, which, you know, I doubt. I don't even think he has the arm to do so. But I mean, that's the only way that he'll stay around. But I see them drafting their quarterback next year. I don't see them like sticking with Jalen Hurts at all.
Mark my words. Jalen Hurts gonna come in and stink it up, and that's when they'll make the excuses for the offensive line and the lack of targets.
Yep, I agree with that.
Hell ain't getting that excuse right now.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I'm with you on that. I mean, that does make sense, but it'll be surprising because, you know, I mean, I tried to avoid it, but I'll say it. But I'll say it's surprising because not too many black quarterbacks get that excuse. But maybe this will be exception to the rule. That's why I say he's on a very short leash. But we'll see how it plays out.
I was about to say, this is definitely a reverse situation.
Right, that's what I was saying. That's why I was trying to say it without saying it earlier, dog.
Like this. I mean, not being thrown out there, being criticized despite this, because I've seen that with Jason Campbell, RG3. Shoot, hell, you can kind of say it with Dwayne Haskins a bit. Right?
Yep. That's why I tried to say it without saying it. It's like, yo, he's on like he's on a short leash, but you know, but I will be surprised, you know, but we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. Let me put this on the screen before we get out of here. This is some foolery right here. Let me see. Let me move this over because I'm not using the dual screen today. Sorry, everybody. Give me 1 second. All right, share screen. Hit this. Hit this. That. Y'all see that? All right, there we go. The RTX 3090s, they're the most powerful graphics card in the world right now. Well, I ain't gonna say in the world. They're the most powerful gaming graphics card in the world because there's some more powerful than this that they use for other things. But $340,000 worth of RTX 3090s fell off a truck, quote unquote, in China. I'm not even buying this. What do you think, DJ? I think this was a organized hit.
I think so too, because I'm like, you know, with the 3090 graphics cards being so rare, and I'm not saying that having trucks full of them being robbed is the reason why they're so rare. I just think that, I don't know, maybe somebody wants attention in that neck of the woods in the world. Just say, hey, they're getting stolen here too. Because in the UK, I think there was pretty much a robbery of PS5s. People being robbed. I know we talked about in the past episode about scalpers being robbed. FedEx drivers.
Right.
Like not delivering PlayStation 5s, just taking them for their own self. Like everybody's. It's just whenever there's a rare item, you're gonna hear stuff like this. You're gonna hear about, you know, stuff falling off the trucks and being picked up. You know, people being like. They described this. I think they described this as like a Fast and Furious type of style robbery. I'm like, come on, really? No.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and talk about it. It said they have an internal document about what happened. So here's the explanation. It says recently a high unit price display cards produced by the company has been stolen by criminals. The case has now been reported to police. At the same time, I also hope that all employees of the company will actively and truthfully report this case. Anyone providing information which solve this case will receive a reward of 100,000 yuan. DJ, find out what that means in US dollars. 100,000 yuan. The company promised to keep the identity of the whistleblower strictly confidential. So does this mean, was this like an inside job? If this is a whistleblower? Any person that is involved in the case from the date of the public
All right.
announcement.
I got it.
Oh, go ahead. How much is it?
It's $15,315.
Man, get the you want me to snitch for $15,000 and y'all lost $300,000 worth of man? If you don't get out, you don't get out of here. I ain't saying nothing for $15,000. You crazy? Nope. I want at least $500,000 at the minimum. Any person involved in the case, the date of the public announcement, report the company's audit department, head of conflicting department. If the report is truthful and assets are in the recovery of the missing items, the company will report to the police, but request leniency. So they're gonna give let people get off on this. The law should be dealt. Listen to this. The company will report to the police, but request leniency. And in the next sentence, the law should be dealt with seriously. Like, how do you have that both ways? With this announcement, I urge my colleagues to be professional and ethical, and to be disciplined, learn from cases, and be warned. DJ, I think this was an inside job based on this report.
Yeah.
What you think?
Okay. In retail, the number one brand of thievery is usually from internal. It's usually from the inside. It's like what they teach you in orientation when you're in retail of some sort. And I literally saw this shit happen firsthand.
Oh man,
Blockbusters. So I know it definitely was internal. Somebody definitely, because those items are rare. I mean, again, you get a situation, you have an item that barely any consumer can get, and it's hell and high water to get. You have to get it by any means necessary, and obviously the people with the most information are the people that work within that company. So yeah, I believe that.
Yeah, I think it was. I mean, the way that was worded, because any other time, if it's something like that happened, you would see like a news article saying that what happened and what they could report on. They got a document saying like they need a whistleblower and all that. That's right. Clearly somebody on the inside did this, and they kind of got an idea it was an inside job, and they're just trying to find out who it is. Bills, what are your thoughts about this? Oh, my bad. Go ahead, DJ.
No, go ahead, Bills.
Well, first things first, it was stolen out of a factory, not fell off a truck, so that article is wrong.
Right, that's what I was like.
Right.
Secondly, yeah, it's an inside job. I mean, I've seen people steal iPhones at the Sprint store, and what am I going to snitch? I don't give a fuck. They ain't my phones. Right. I mean, shit. So
and Bills, what did they come up to you and say? Hey, we stole $300,000 worth of iPhones, but we're gonna give you this reward for $15,000.
Fuck my dick. They can keep them fucking iPhones. You better give me $300,000. Shit.
Right. Exactly. You gotta give me at least the equivalent. You gotta give me at least the equivalent of what's been stolen. At least the equivalent.
I'm a snitch. Like, yeah, I was here on the 5 o'clock shift. I ain't telling you shit. Yeah, but I mean, nah, it was definitely an inside job. There's no doubt about it. They have the surveillance cameras, they claim, and there's only, I know how these things work, especially with the factory, and it's the same thing when you work in a phone store and you go into the vault. There's only certain people that have access to it. So I mean, of course, it was an inside job. I don't think there's really anything to see here, except I want to see when they find out who did it. What the hell happens? I mean, they're even offering freedom, and as long as
right. No, at the same time, the law should be dealt seriously, though.
All right.
It's like, we want leniency, but we deal with this serious. My thing is like, if it was like maybe 5 cards, maybe if it was like 3, then you could say it was somebody on the outside. But when you get a whole truckload or a whole factory set of graphics cards missing, that many, because they said it was
pallet of them shits.
Yeah, they said the theft was about 40 containers of 3090s.
A whole pallet.
Bro, that ain't some guys on the street saying, "Yo, I want to play these games." and to be honest, I don't even think that was some scalper saying, "Hey, I need that." I think somebody did this and probably trying to get money from the scalpers. They're like scalping the scalpers. That's what it sounds like. Like, it is crazy. I don't know.
And you know what? In that situation I said firsthand I was talking about, it actually somebody tried to pin something on me, because let's see, again, this happened at Blockbuster, and I was one of the assistant managers. There were only like 3 of us that knew the combination to the safe, and apparently somebody had taken some money out the safe. So,
damn.
Yeah, so they tried to pin it on me because the videotape showed that I was the last one. That's what was told to me. I wasn't really privy to like security cameras or whatever. That I was the last one that walked out of the back room, but I think they said that I also left the door open. I was like, what in the world are you talking about? Now, months down the road, I found out that it was because I didn't get in trouble alternately because I was cleared and stuff like that. But then they found out it was the actual store manager that
Oh wow.
and they were covering up for her. So it was kind of crazy that, not only was it the store manager, and in fact that she was the one that tried to pin it on me, is that somebody above her was protecting her at the same time. And yeah, they both got in trouble. And yeah.
But that's what's crazy, bro. Like,
hey, look what G-Rob put.
Like,
well, yeah, because you know what? That G-Rob, if you're familiar with Colombia, there are parts of Colombia that, even though Colombia is like all inclusive, there's right down the street. I was actually the only black assistant manager at that Blockbuster store at that one point in time. So yeah, I knew it right away. I was like, oh, so you gonna pin on a black man? Oh, I see what
it's crazy.
Dang,
Everybody
man.
at my store except one chick was black, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I remember, like, I didn't have any idea the nigga stole the phones until he told me. He's like, yeah, bro, I stole them. Like, because like literally my boss comes out of the back room the next day and he's just like, yeah, so we have a situation. There's 2 iPhone 10s missing. Now, obviously, this is back when iPhone 10s just came out. People going crazy over this phone.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, he must have just, because there's no camera on the vault, which is weird. They have a camera right before that area, but they don't have one in that area, which is weird as shit. So he must have known that, took the phones, put them in his bag or whatever, and then just walked out with them, because then he quit. So I'm like, bro, obviously you stole the phones. You quit. You took the phones and then you quit. It makes sense. And then still like, well, Joseph. I'm like, bro, like, I'm not going to steal no fucking iPhones and show up the next day. I'm not stupid.
Right.
There's only a couple of us that have this fucking code.
Hey, Pelican Man say you did it, DJ. You stole it. You stole the money.
Yeah, and Pelican Man sucked getting his dick. Anyway.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Anyway.
Yeah, Pelican Man is busy stealing getting his kids.
Right.
He's back for more, I see.
But no, I mean, yeah, it's crazy, man. Like, that shit happens all the time at Walmart and all these different types of places, man.
Yeah. That's why I be wanting a friend that works at Walmart, man. I need to look out, man, because, man, I need to figure out how I need to get, like, the latest stuff. Like, yeah, that, but, hey, it's a little different nowadays.
And then put a couple to the side.
Yeah,
that's what I'm talking about.
You received 2 less in inventory, just be like,
hey,
I counted them, and they just seem like they. Yeah,
you got the IMS guy. I used to have the scanner. I used to change the on hand every fucking time. Like, we got 5. No, the fuck we don't. We got 3. Fuck out of here. Just throw the paper away with the delivery and said how many you got. Boom, bing, bang, boom. That's it.
Yeah, and by the way, as far as that situation, Blockbuster, I was fairly compensated after that was found out. So I'll just leave it at that.
Right.
Yeah, I've never stolen anything, but I'm not gonna act like I didn't help.
Man, listen. Whoo, boy, man, prior to me in college, man, every job I got, boy, I stole something from. So I ain't even gonna lie. Every job, every job I had, bro, like before me finishing college, I got something out of somewhere, yo. I got it. I don't care if it was petty. That shit could have been like a. No, why are you following up with that client? You need what? Yeah, exactly. Shut up. Let's see. Mr. Ham said, "Oh, Pels is back." What a clown. Anything else y'all got? Because we just passed the 2 hour mark. We had another good show. Not bad at all. Bills, you got anything you want to add before we go? Yeah. Oh, one more thing before you say that. Spectacular Pooh. He probably left. The reason why I didn't add you to this discussion, I did not want you to, have an aneurysm before you went to bed. You're welcome on the show. You're welcome on the show at any time, but I was not about to put you on this panel so you could just yell and scream. Nah, because I already know how you feel about this. So
put his mic in a chokehold.
Yeah, exactly. Like, no, we you my dude and all, but not this wasn't this ain't the one. Nah, we'll get you on another one. Maybe we could talk about how well or not so well Jalen Hurts played, but not this one. Not this one. Go ahead, Bills. I'm sorry.
Yeah, fuck Cyberpunk for not putting third person in their game. I'm sorry. First person's for shooters. Keep that shit on shooting.
But wait a minute, Bills. When I saw that you posted that, I was just like, but they said that months ago that they took third person.
The product. No. I'm gonna tell you something. Bill's he has a legit gripe because you know why? Because the game was initially in third person.
Yes,
it was initially in third person.
That's true, but then they came out and said that a couple months ago they said they took third person out of it.
Fucking terrible.
No, I'm with you on that, Bills. Don't get me wrong. I'm playing the game. I'm going to be streaming it, but I'm 100% with you on that because I can see if the game never was in third person. I can get it, but it was in third person, and they did not even give us the option to keep it. They just took it out altogether. I don't like that.
I agree with that. They did say it was going to be third person. They took a lot of shit out the game, and they announced that they took shit out the game. That's what I'm saying. They didn't just sneak it on people. They said, "Hey, we had to take this, and this out the game."
But here's the other thing: I don't like their fucking explanation for it, talking about it's gonna be a much more immersive experience when you have it in first player. How? I can't see my fucking character. How is it gonna immerse me? I don't even know what my character looks like unless I walk into a mirror.
Meanwhile, your crush, Alana Pierce, will be appearing in the game. So at least you'll see her face.
I'll be seeing it watching someone else stream. I'm not buying that shit. When they put third person back in the game,
DJ, you saw the chat, right?
Yeah, I see.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Wow, GSL.
Everybody hashtag that. Hashtag Yo, put a GCL.
Get it.
Oh
no.
GCL just sounds better.
Right. Get a clit lover.
Oh my god. That's fucking hilarious.
No, what was he saying before we interrupted again?
Bro, just they need to put their person back in here. I'm sorry.
I'm with you on that.
I tell you what, if Pelican Man were to get this game, he'd be on the character creation, adjusting the dick size of these characters. That's the part he'll have mad hours on that portion of the game.
He'll be mad. Yeah, man. I was on the screenshotting it, putting it on his wall, putting it in his bed. Hey man, let's not do this.
No, but I'm saying, imagine playing like Last of Us in first person. It's just weird, bro. I don't know, bro. I can't play RPGs in first person, man. It's just weird. Like that's why I couldn't finish Far Cry. I was turned off.
I don't know. I think Far Cry was built for it to be first person.
Far Cry,
I mean, even if you remember Far Cry from Far Cry 1, that's how it was built. So I get that.
More sense out of any of them, but
because technically Far Cry turned into an RPG, but it was technically a first-person shooter. That's how the game started off as.
You can't make a big deal about Keanu Reeves, and then now we can't see Keanu Reeves.
No, my thing is,
in the game, isn't he?
Yeah, he's an off character.
Yeah.
My man.
Who do you? Oh, you create a character.
You create your own character, and this Bills. This will make it worse. You create the character, you design the character, you put all these flashy, nice clothes on them, and you can't see them once you play with them.
That's what makes it more egregious. So I'm with you, Bill.
My thing is, if the game was just first person and never had third person in it, I would not have a gripe. But the fact that the game was built for third person and they took it out, I don't like that.
Man.
Yeah, at least give it an option because that's.
I tried to play GTA 5 in first person. That shit was weird.
No,
I like the fact that but at least they give you the option to do it.
That's what we're saying.
Like, play it first person, but there was a game that you could switch, like depending on if you took cover or not, first person to third. I think it was Rainbow Six. Rainbow Six did that, and that was
Rainbow Six did it. Another game, way before then, where Metal Gear Solid 2 did it too, where you can switch back and forth. And the way they did it was really weird though. Like when you shoot the weapon in first person, you had to hold down the button and let it go. That was so weird. You remember that, DJ, when we played MGS2? Like when you shoot the button in first, you shoot in first person. It was the opposite. You hold down the button and let it go. That was really weird. But nah, I don't have anything else. Pooh, I don't know. You just got back. Hey, I want to say it again since you're here. We didn't let you in because we didn't want you to have like a nervous breakdown behind Wentz on the stream. You're always invited. You always been supporting and everything, but it's just the fact that we didn't want you to go crazy and probably like fall out or something behind having your reaction to it. Maybe you could talk about it at a later time because we know how you are about your Eagles, and it's not a bad thing. It's just that we don't want to hear nobody lose their breath and pass out on stream. We don't want that.
So he asked what happened. Nothing. Pelican Man just likes getting his kids on his chin. That's all. Nothing crazy.
It's just the chin. Well, no. So did we do our outros?
We were in the middle of it. We got into a Cyberpunk rant, which I was gonna do before, but I had to get that out, man. I'm sorry.
No, I'm with you on that. I'm 100% behind you. I'm with you on that. What about you, DJ? What you got?
Yeah, about to say, for me, Cyberpunk was like a last-second decision because I wasn't even completely sold, knowing all of that. But I was just like,
man, I told y'all day one. I told y'all when I first saw it, I said I'm buying it. I was copying that, and I was going to copy it, but somebody got it for me because I was going to get it on PC, but somebody sent it to me on PS4, and I was like, well, I mean, I'm not complaining about that, but I was going to buy it on PC at first. And I was like, when I first saw it, I was like,
day one, I don't think, unless somebody just was like, here you go, here's fucking Cyberpunk.
Somebody gives it to you, yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Like that's the reason why I was like, because I was, like I said, I was originally going to buy it on PC, but I mean, they was like, I got a PS4 copy. You want it? It's yours. I was like, all right, I'm cool. I'm not complaining about that. I mean, should complain about free stuff. That kind of goes against what we were saying. We weren't complaining. We were critiquing Madden next gen. And it's technically free for everybody who has a game. But nevertheless, DJ, you got anything? Did I cut you off?
Oh no, that's cool. But one more thing, I am gonna stream tomorrow. It'll be episode 10 of What the Fuck Just Happened. Probably not gonna be as explosive as last week because that was fairly explosive. So whoa. Now what?
What?
Because this is kind of. If Bills is breaking something, I want to hear this.
Cyberpunk 2077 contains first-person sex scenes, genitalia customization.
Yeah, they had it.
Yeah, that's what we were teasing Pelican Man.
Well, you weren't joking about
time on there. Yeah.
Wow.
It's a fight.
Yeah, I'm down. G-Rob, I'm downloading it right now, and it's 101.5 gigs. I'm downloading it right now on my PS4. Cyberpunk 2077 is 101.5 gigs.
Oh shit, it might be more on shit.
Well, because I know on PC it initially downloaded 58 gigs.
Really?
Space. Yeah.
Wow. Mine's 101.
Is that the biggest game on last gen?
No.
The biggest game on last gen was Modern Warfare.
Yeah.
Aside from Call of Duty.
I don't know. Hold on. Wait a minute. It may be.
No, not
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if it's Modern Warfare or is it. I don't know if it's Modern Warfare or I don't know if it's Halo.
I know Modern Warfare. Modern Warfare.
Halo was another. I don't know if I'm sorry. I don't know if it was Halo or Gears. One of those was like over 100 gigs.
Oh, because Modern Warfare is like 140 something. So.
Yeah.
Oh no, then Modern Warfare got it then, because if it's 140, Modern Warfare got it. Because I know Gears is over 100. I know Gears over, and I think Halo 5.
Red Dead is now I think of it. I think Red
Red Dead was like a 111 or something like that. Yeah, because I remember when Red Dead first came out, because I got it on PS4, it was like at 98, but then you had the other content that was added on and made it like 111.
So just
so he said Halo was never that big, then it had to be Gears then. It had to be and Master Chief Collection don't count. Master Chief Collection is 4 different games.
About to add on a story extension. So
Gears 5?
Yes, and it's gonna be the game is gonna be a little bit bigger now.
Oh, I might have to get that because I enjoy playing Gear. I enjoyed live streaming Gears 5, so I think I'm gonna get that.
Like actually play it like
you need to. It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
I played up until Gears 2. I played Gears 3 and I was like, I'm not interested in the story.
I beat 1. I beat 1 and I'm halfway done with 2. But I played 5. What'd you say? What'd you say, Bills?
No, I said, did it get the next gen update though?
What's that?
Gears 5.
Gears 5. Oh yeah. Gears 5 did. I think all of the Xbox in-house games got it. So yeah, you're good money.
Some of them didn't have the X/S next to it, so
because State of Decay 2 got theirs.
Yeah. All of the in-house ones got it. Yeah.
And it's funny because I look at State of Decay 2 and how it's running. I'm just like, I already experienced that on PC. But
it just won't let me download it though. Shit pisses me off.
Yeah, that's
kind of crazy. Yeah, that's crazy.
Flight Simulator not coming out.
Not coming out either. Yep. Halo Master Chief Collection don't count, Pooh, because that's like 4 games into one.
Yeah, that's like. Yeah.
So if that's 152 gig, that don't count. That don't count.
Real quick, have y'all been paying attention to this new boxing game?
Yes. Yeah, still waiting on it. We talked about it, but I've been watching what they're doing. Yeah, I've been watching.
The early access might be coming out this month. I think.
Okay, that's interesting.
It's on Steam only. But next year it'll be out, so I'm not too worried.
Right.
Microsoft Flight Simulator, but yeah. Just to finish off, if you can put the banner up, so you.
I got you. Go ahead. You good?
Over on Twitch, Evo325, and tomorrow's show is going to be a science fiction theme because I just want to talk about my fandom in that genre of movies and games and stuff like that. So that will be the overall theme. So
all right, sounds like a plan. So you know where to find them, Evo325. Also, if you do want to, you can go catch Bills as well. JMB MJ3293. You catch him there as well. And myself, I'll talk about my Twitch channel in a second. If you guys haven't already, check out the Teespring link. That's down in the description. I got that on the banner as well. Also, check out the Patreon if you want to check that out as well. We do have a Patreon. You can check it out. Shout out to everybody who do support. Shout out to everyone who supports monetarily. You support hitting the like button, and people who support sharing. You can like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. All that little bit helps. It does help. Now, as far as my Twitch channel, I probably will not be streaming tomorrow because I have to work tomorrow. Depends on what time I get in. If I do, I'll probably stream for maybe like an hour or so. Probably play one of these little quick games that I like to play. And I'll send it over to DJ once it's his time to stream. But I definitely will be streaming on Friday because Thursday I'll be back here doing the podcast. So I'll be streaming Friday, and that's when I'll be streaming Cyberpunk 2077. And Saturday, same thing, be doing that as well. App State plays Georgia Southern. That's going to be a great game. Since the Ohio State-Michigan game is not playing, so the only real rivalry game that's out there is Georgia Southern, App State. They need to put that on ESPN. Nevertheless, let me think. Sunday will be another Sunday retro stream. I don't know what I'm going to be playing yet, but we'll be doing that as well. So just good times going on. Everything is good in gaming, to be honest with you. Bills is liking Madden next gen. I'm liking everything else that's on the current gen. I'm actually putting all of my stuff in order on my PlayStation 4 Pro. So I'm going to make a video about the PlayStation Pro. I think I am, because this console, looking back on it, I had my gripes about it, thinking that it's not one. I think it's more of a console than we think it is. Well, I think it is, and I'm gonna get into that because that console is probably the console with the most content that I've ever seen in any console. That's even saying the PS3, but I'll talk about that another time. Other than that, we're gonna get up out of here. You already know that. Absolutely, I'm put that on the screen right there. Man, we need to beat Crap State. Hey, they got one of their players dressed up as a girl dancing in the dorms. I ain't got nothing against that. I mean, whatever floats your boat, but
Nah, fuck that shit gay.
Yeah, well, we know they love goats as well, but that's a different story for another day.
Man be watching that shit.
Hey, listen,
him and Johnny.
GCL.
Him.
All right, we're gonna get up out of here, and we'll see you guys Thursday. Check out, if I stream, I'll put it up. If not, definitely check out DJ stream. He's gonna be streaming. At what time are you gonna be streaming, DJ?
About 8 p.m. Eastern
8 p.m.
Standard Time. Pre-show will start at 7:55, so there'll be music and just chilling out. Yeah,
Whose ass am I kissing?
I knew you was gonna respond to that.
What? Man, you have a grown ass man as your fucking grown man's face as your fucking AVI.
I have no other words for
and
him.
You swear you're a doctor. What are you, a dick doctor?
Doctor what?
An actual doctor, Pelican Man MD. The fuck out of here.
Well, he had prescription. He got prescription and soothing medication for all type of things, if you know what I mean.
Right.
All right, we're gonna get up out of here, man. We'll see y'all Thursday. You guys be safe, wear a mask, and do all the other good stuff. All right, we're out of here. You guys be easy. Peace.
GCL.
Peace.
GCL.
Don't be like Pelican Man.
Stay up on that man's nuts.